Peace. Oh, peace, YouTube. This is Fleur Boone coming to you today with another topic of discussion. As you see, you know what's interesting? I'm in like a whole nother dimension. I'm in a whole nother dimension. Check on it. It's a beautiful day. I don't know if, hopefully this works. There we go. We have some folks coming in. Okay. So peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. When you come on in, check on in. Just put a like on the video as you step in the room. I'd appreciate it. Blissful 999 portal. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. I'm well. I'm well. Blissful 999 portal. Karmic debts are being cleared, family. I hope you're ready. So we're going to have a beautiful discussion. So I'll wait until a few more people check in. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Do you remember that? Won't you be mine? Can't you be mine? Won't you be? You hear my birdies? My birdies love. My birdies like to sing. They sing to each other. It's so beautiful. They sing to each other. And it's interesting. If I say, hey, how you doing? They'll just start talking back. It's so beautiful. So we're going to get into discussion about the 999 portal. I hope everyone had a masterful weekend. So let me start off by saying this. If you step in the room, please put a like on the video. I'd appreciate it. I want to send a lot of loving support to our family in Bahamas. Family, it's, big up to my homegirl who actually, my homegirl Elise, big up to my homegirl Elise. We've been friends for years. She's one of my dearest friends, her husband and our children. And they actually took a private jet out a couple days, no, 2 or 3 days ago. I think it was 3 days ago. I couldn't go because of the health conditions that were there. My girlfriend actually, they took a private jet out there and they actually distributed goods. So for all of our family, our sea stars and sun stars, I'm going to look for the link. I would like for you to donate, not to necessarily the Red Cross or anything because I don't trust them. If you know any personal people or like personal teams of people going out there, please make sure to send some gently washed clothes. Baby clothes are very much needed. A lot, they've lost so much. It was a lot of the Bahamas is underwater, family, and there are so many deaths. It's a lot of deaths. And for many of you don't know, the part of the island, before I get into the activations, I just want to send this out because I feel like it's necessary, especially as close as a family as we are, to send them positive energy. It's very tragic. There's bodies everywhere. And many of you don't know the part of the Bahamas that was most devastated are Haitians. I don't know if you know that. They were Haitians. And as you know, there is a war against a particular bloodline on this planet. And the Haitians were on that part that was totally decimated. And if you think that's by chance with what happens in Haiti, and it just so happens to be another placement on an island where Haitians were living mostly, it says something. So please put a lot of love, please, for... Hold on. Please don't. Please go. Okay, sorry. I have a receipt. Oh, sorry about that. I have a lot of weirdos. A lot of weirdos here. Anyway, if you step in the room, please put a like on the video. I appreciate it. So it's very tragic. And also remember, it is something different than what it seems. Remember, I told you the hurricane had to do with something being taken and something being dropped off. And what looks like deaths, also, you have to believe that there are certain beings here who are being brought back to their home planets. I'm just saying. So, but in it itself, it is still a tragedy. However I perceive it, it is still a tragedy because a lot of people lost their loved ones. So please send a lot of love. And we do that for so many other nations, like in France and a lot of other places get a lot of love. Bahamas needs that, and they aren't getting a lot of help, family. It's destabilized. So Big up to our family in Bahamas. So, family, we're in the 999 portal today. Oh, I'm so inappropriate sometimes. We're in the 999 portal. And what are you saying, Florba, and what does that mean to you? What it is that is the ending. It's an opening of a portal. And remember, we have 9 more days before Santa Claus comes home. Saturn is returning back from retrograde, and all debts will be cleared. So karmic, what you will be experiencing over the next 9 days, remember, you are making your choices to solidify the closing of that. Remember, we collapsed in timeline, so now you're making a choice. Are you going to stay with that Satanist, narcissistic, sociopathic bastard, or are you going to clear yourself from that? Are you going to choose to stay in a job that doesn't serve your highest and greatest purpose? Are you going to choose to stay in that frequency? Are you going to choose to make a decision on your health and start to work out and eat well and start to make the decision that to prioritize yourself? You're going to make that decision. This is a very pinnacle time, and that's why I decided to make the video today, because we have to realize we're in the most magical time, family. This is an absolutely magic. Why is he back? We have like the weirdest kind of stalking. My neighborhood never gets people coming through. Anyway, this is a very magical time, family. There's so much we're going to discuss, but we're going to keep it focused today. Today is a day that I want you to really make strong decisions from a higher sense of purpose. I want you to start to prioritize. Oh, look at my squirrely. I'm sorry. My squirrely, my favorite squirrel is here listening to me. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Be careful over there. I have snakes right there too. I have a pit of snakes. Come on, mama. Don't go. Come. I don't like you over there. There's a pit of snakes. Go up. There you go. Okay, sorry. I have a pit of snakes and only Fleur-Brune. I have a pit of black snakes, and they just had babies, and I don't want my squirrely over there, because she'll be eating. She'll be lunch. Yeah, I have a pit of snakes. So when you try to come for Fleur-Brune, you're gonna be met, because I'm nigga all day. Anyway, so what you need to understand and understand is, when a portal opens to this degree, we are at the end of a cycle completely, and we are having a particular energetic portal that's allowing for you to solidify your last stages of your decisions, that will require you to really fold within yourself and to understand and understand what is for your highest and greatest good. And I know that sounds so cheesy and corny. You're saying to yourself, oh, Fleur-Brune, you're always into this kumbaya. I'm keeping it real, family. It's not a kumbaya thing. Do you want to live in darkness? Do you want to coexist in a time where this is a magical time? Do you want to pick a timeline, a form of timeline that is perpetually in darkness and in heinousness with people that aren't good, and for yourself? Do you want to live in a body that's archaic and experiencing atrophy? Listen, family, I'm with you on these decisions. I had to literally fold within myself, like 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm not able to sleep anymore. Anybody could sleep. I had to fold in myself last night. And big up to my seat. Oh, for those who looked at the trailer yesterday, let me just state this while you're here. The trailer made yesterday was by my daughter. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even know she created it. She came to me last night and said, Mommy, I created a trailer for you. And I didn't understand. She's young. She's 12. I didn't even know she could do this. She created the trailer that you saw on YouTube last night. Big up to my young. I was in shock. It was I was in shock, family. That's my offspring, but I literally was like, my jaw dropped, and I was like, did you create this? And she said yes. And I was like, how did you? That's why the end says me, because it was her. Big up to my beautiful Nista. This is my firstborn, my eldest. I'm in love with my children. If ever I've ever experienced love, I'm in love with my children. Yeah, she did it. Like, it took her 30 minutes, family. I was like, how long did it take? She said 30 minutes. I said, what motivated you? She said, Mommy, because you're on a mission. It was so beautiful and so effortless. So big up to my young little offspring. I it was her. All her. I had zero to do. I didn't ask her to do it. She did it on her own. It was beautiful. She's the artist. That's the one who's elementally that's the one the fairies talk to. That's the one who's connected to that realm. Yeah, since she was born, since she was in my tummy, the fairies started interacting me when I was pregnant with her. That's one of theirs. So big it's my little one. It's interesting she made it on the fold of a 999 portal. So as you're folding within yourself, and I had to make this video to say we have to choose better for ourselves. I think the biggest struggle that everyone is having, including sometimes myself, is knowing that you're deserving. It's almost like to feel, because I think the Matrix has kind of created a narrative that if you do anything for self, or you make choices solely for self, that it's selfish. It is in a way, but it isn't, because choosing from a placement of divinity, of being in your highest and greatest sense of awareness, isn't selfish. It's actually self-serving to the environment and to the people around you, and to your highest self. It's multi-servicing. So when you're healthy, I can talk to our sea stars. When you're healthy, how do you feel? When you're eating well, and your nutrition is giving you fuel, and you're choosing to keep energetically sound, how do you feel? You feel amazing. You feel amazing. You feel as if you're walking on cloud nine. It happens all the time. And sometimes it's just a matter, food is being you, and I'm talking for myself. Food is a drug, and it's been initiated into our world and into our lives as a drug, as a muter, as a go-to help cope with stressors, or sadness, or loss, or as reward, what we think is reward, but it's really a way to you know to kind of cloak the emotions that we're dealing with. And it's very interesting that food, drugs, even coffee to a certain degree, this is decaf, but it's still coffee. We utilize all these as forms of coping when dealing in the matrix, which is highly toxic and highly overwhelming. And when you choose to make better decisions as far as eating from a space of necessity and for fuel, and doing things in your life, whether it's taking walks in the evening, whether it's going for rides with the little ones, or maybe just going to the, I'm not, I was a gym brat for a long time. So going to the gym and working out a little bit, you always feel amazing. You always feel amazing. And I think that is a decision, making that decision to prioritize yourself. Spiritual buffers, I know her coffee. Making that decision to prioritize yourself is serving the entire. It's serving the entirety of your environment, because you're happier, you're motivated to do more. You come from a space of your cup being filled, and then you can be more of assistance to your children, to your husband, to your mate, to yourself. And I think that's a decision that a lot of times we aren't making based on the perpetual traumas that are coming in the matrix. And I think it's necessary, especially today with the portal opening. You might find that people start to resurface today. Today, you might find that people are starting to show up today for you to make that final decision. You have 9 days, family. 9 days. It's a 999, but you literally have 9 days before Santa returns. Okay, Saturn returns. He comes out of retrograde. Saturn returns. You have 9 days before the solidification of that timeline, that collapse. What will you choose? What will you choose? Will you choose from a space of self-love, from a feeling of wanting to live in your highest and greatest good? Are you going to choose that decision? Or will you still stay in stagnation? Will you still be with that person who kind of sort of has a purpose in your life, but it isn't healthy for you. My squirrel. Will you stay in that position at your job, which takes away from your life source, and it makes you feel defeated every time you come home after work, and it makes you feel drained? Are you going to choose that? Hold on. The same car. Hold on. It's a very important day today, and it will be important for you to make choices over the next 9 days that are going to place you in a position, a pinnacle point, as we go through the shift. Now, we have a lot going on planetarily. We have a lot of visitors to our planet, and on 9/11 I have a message for you that will be amazing. And literally, for our sea stars, you have to realize we're at war. We're at war. And I don't want to get into that on this day because it's unnecessary to have that discussion until we discuss what we need to discuss on 9/11. It's a beautiful time on the planet, but in the same point, we have to realize that with every moment that we get closer to 0 point, there will be a collapsing of a system of things is that has perpetually kept us tethered to this reality. Tethered. And also, yeah, Vivian says 22nd is the 400-year reign ends. Well, yes, and on the 12th, remember we go through 2012. So the actual 2012, yes, Pavel, you know, the stalkers are real. On 2012, remember, we're actually going to experience the actual 2012. The collapsing of timelines has already occurred. The Maya CSC stars have returned home. The sisterhood is back on planet. Listen to me, the sisters are back on planet. A lot of our sisters are feeling invoked. You're getting the residuals of the sisterhood waking up in South Africa, where now the women are protesting on how gender inequality is occurring. We're getting a lot of upheaval now in the Middle East with the Sisterhood of the Sand reacting. We're getting a lot of upheaval here in the States, where a lot of sexual trafficking rings are being, as we speak, are being blown out of the privacy of their, normally they're allowed to hide and do what they do. Now all spots are being blown. So we are Sudan as well, right, Jupiter? It is an amazing time, but it is a very volatile time as well, because when you have beings who have had power for an eon or so, then you would know that that sort of shift, they aren't going to handle it very well, even though we are now returning to the matriarchal balance that was originally part of the planet's natural homeostasis. It was a female-based environment, and only queendom were here, and that is returning. So with that will come basically a evolved social plan that will initiate a coup d'etat, as we will watch and witness, and most of us will be partaking in. This will be on, when they say on hands on, this is on hands on war. Okay, the war has always been here against the female component, but we were pretty much complicit, even if we felt like we were protesting or strong arming the societal suppression. We still were complicit and apathetic in it. That isn't any longer. We're hands on at this point, and there will be a shift, and there will be a hands-on war. We're at the beginning stages of it. And I think some of you remember when we did the timeline jump. Big up to those who did the timeline jump. We did it on IG. Big up to the Cypher crew, did the actual timeline jump. Remember, we preempted a jump into this time now, and I didn't like it. Remember, I said, I don't like this timeline because there's a lot of hostility towards the female. Here they come again. Hold on, family. I'm gonna have to hold on, because I think this is one of those. Hold on. if you see what I have in my hand right now, I can't do it on you. Buenos dias. Bon dia. Bon dia. Okay. I'm just, you know, whenever I don't want to go in the house. I want to sit out in my parking in front of my garage and talk. You know, sometimes I have these things when I have hold on. No, I'm always ready. But this is what I carry. It's like old fashioned. But wait, hold on. I always carry it in the car. I have so many things in my truck. Let me put you on. Hold on. Do you mind if I put you on here? There we go. I think you can see me okay. See, I carry this with me. And then it's rusty too. Yeah, I carry this in my car. So I'm always prepared. Like I always carry, I have, I always carry everything with me, including, you'd be surprised. Like I'm a mommy mobile. I'm, you know, all kinds of, yeah, I'm prepper, but I have this today because I was checking someone's blood pressure today. So, so when I always have a stethoscopes with me a lot of times, and it was interesting because I had my stethoscope out because I do. Let me remind everyone, I'm not a doctor. Let me put that in there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not medically trained. I did research for a long time, so I'm trained in that way. So, you know, a lot of times what I do, I did more research than I did anything else. But I do, remember, I'm not reliant on physicians outside of myself. I am my first physician in my household, as you should be. So I always make sure that I have blood pressure machines and so on, because I check pulse. Like if someone's sick that I love, I will check their blood pressure, and I'll also check their heart rate. So, you know, you should always, as mommies, you should always have a stethoscope in your, you know, in a good stethoscope, okay? Because there's different kinds, but a good stethoscope to always be prepared to check someone's blood pressure. You can check someone's heart rate, blood pressure, things like that. It's necessary if you're in this day and age. I always tell you, be more self-reliant. It isn't necessary to, hold on, take it off here. Okay, it isn't always necessary to always be reliant on anything outside of yourself. The Littman, I see a nurse is on here. The Littman is the best one. Yeah, the Littman is the best version. So I'm always sidebarring. Please put a like on the video. We're gonna get back into the timeline. Please put a like on the video if you're coming into the room. Yeah, I always suggest for mommies and daddies, if you have little ones in the house, always make sure you have a stethoscope. Okay. Again, I had someone who wasn't feeling too well, and because of the changes on the planet, I always tell you it's okay for you to take care of yourself first, and then if need be, you're a nurse, right? Don is a nurse. Yeah, all the nurses are on here. They all have their Littman is the best because you can hear it. It's stronger, right? The echo is stronger. Yes, you're ordering yours for look at I love this, all the nurses on here. I love you so much. Yeah, I always say have things for yourself. You should always be able to take care of your family, yourself, mothers. You were the first doctors, all these facilities and everything. This is all post what women used to do naturally. We used to always take care of our babies. We used to always take care of our husbands. We used to take care of ourselves. We were the first physicians. So I want you to go back to that. I want you to go back to that mindset. I want you to start studying, because many of the nurses on here, you have your medical books. I always suggest that you self-care first. And I am definitely I am definitely an advocate. If something is off or wrong, then you can go to a main facility to go get addressed, because it is very necessary. If you are past the point of self-healing, or being able to remedy whatever ailment you're having, then you may go and get that. I only think hospitals, Western hospitals are good for emergency situations, which is past the point of no return. Okay, but I think if you take care of yourself and you monitor your blood pressure and you check your heart rate, I think it's very good for you to do that. Especially many of you who are vegetarians and vegans, okay? Because I think a lot of times because you're eating a diet that isn't necessarily in your lineage core, it's very necessary to make sure that you aren't getting spiked blood pressure from you processing sodium a little differently than you did when you were eating meat sources. Also, you have to make sure that you aren't getting lower blood pressure or higher spiked blood pressure, which can lead to stroke or heart attack, right? So it's very necessary for you to be able to, as if you're going into another lifestyle, another eating pattern, make sure you're monitoring yourself, okay? And also, Flurburn was a researcher, so I have a high-powered microscope. I have a microscope in my house because that's what I used to do. I used to study, remember my focus was in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So dementia. Okay, dementia was my focus. So because I did a lot of research, I have a microscope in my house, a high-powered one of the most expensive ones, to be able to study. As you know, I also know blood types, so also to be able to look at anything that could be a possible issue within my own children. Okay. I'm all kinds of Flurburn. Anyway, family, so getting back into the topic. I'm sorry, I'm all kinds of distracted. I have all my animal family is they're like showing their most right now. Um Emerald. Stefani's put us in the energy. Thank you. Can't stop, won't stop. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. 999. So yes, family, we are in the frequency of 999, and like I said before today, you are going to start to experience people coming in today. Today, you might get some revisits. It will be it will be a revisit of things that need to be clarified or shed. There will be a lot of shedding today. Today, you may get a phone call from an old business partner and there needs to be resolvement. You may get a phone call from maybe a father figure, a mother figure. Maybe you haven't spoken to them in a while. There's going to be a lot of dust kicking up over the next couple days for you to make decisions. You're going to have to solidify decisions that you normally would push aside until you are ready for it. You'll basically push aside these things and say, you know what, I'm not ready to deal with this. I'll deal with it on my time. There isn't any more time because time is collapsing, as you've noticed. Timelines have collapsed. If you haven't known, now you know. And it's necessary for you to make those full-blown decisions. If you were teeter-tottering off a relationship that you know has superseded its lifespan with you, its time frame, it is time for you to make a decision. There isn't any more time. We're in the midst of a war, sea stars. This is what kicks off the future Amazonian society. I need to stop touching on that. You love your coffee? Me too, Patricia. Cheers. And people say to me, Flurburn, I don't know if I can take you seriously because you drink coffee. If coffee bothers you, and that's the only thing, listen, I'm not a drinker, a drugger, I'm a mother. If coffee bothers you with me, and that's a seal breaker, then by all means, you should leave this platform. Because if me drinking Starbucks is a deal breaker, we're not even in the same vibration. Because as many of you know, I've been drinking Starbucks over the last Jamaica coffee, and a lot of times you don't realize we do things because there's a pattern of behavior. Look, there's Jamaica on here. Jamija is on here. Mami Wata. There's a reason why sometimes we go to certain things and with certain symbols invokes us or allures us. It's something deeper. Yes, I like the coffee. I didn't drink coffee interesting enough, I didn't drink coffee before I had children. I drank no coffee. This is what's crazy about it. Anybody, big up to all those who know Flurburn from back in the days. I didn't drink coffee. I didn't drink coffee until my 30s. I'm triggering you. I'm sorry. Don't start a habit if you don't have it. I kick my habit every once in a while, as you know. All the chemicals in depends on what you get. Light Moon, if you know Starbucks, it depends on what you get. It depends on what you're drinking at Starbucks. There's more chemicals in the environment than there is in the coffee I'm drinking. Okay? It depends on the things you drink. There's a lot of chemicals in a lot of things. And I'm not saying I'm beyond I'm beyond judgment, but it's what I do. It's one of the things, that's why I fast all the time. That's why, when I fast I pull it out. So I have an affinity for Starbucks coffee. I pull it out when necessary, isn't what I do. And I'm conscientious that it isn't for the best and greatest good of my body. Me too, breastfeeding takes a toll. Okay, so let me see. Johan says, me too, breastfeeding takes a toll. So that's how I became dependent on coffee. I think that, thank you, C Star. I think a lot of mothers become very, very addicted to things because of the lack of sleep. I don't think many of you, if you've not been a mother before, I think my girlfriends had wished children on me for so many years so I could understand, and I understand totally now. It's a very challenging thing when you're nursing. I nursed for 5 years, but my little one, I stopped when I was pregnant, and I revisited it after, and my other one until almost 5. So I'm Creole. We nursed until the babies, until they decide they don't want any milk anymore from mommy. Okay, so that's what I did. And yeah, the coffee was it just assisted me. It's a narcotic. It's a narcotic, and it's a stimulant. So in that way. So let's get off the coffee. You nursed for 3 years. See, we have a lot of nursing mommies. It is. If many of you saw me online. My hair has always been messy. My hair has been like this since I've had babies. Big up to all the mommies in here. My hair has been like this ever since I had children, because listen, I decided my hair was always natural, but I used to wrap it. Many of you, big up to our nieces from New York or from places where you have to do your hair all the time. I used to wrap it and have it straight a lot, because wrapping my hair, like setting and wrapping, is how I would do my hair to straighten it. So I used to have my hair done all the time, and until I had babies, when I had babies is the first when I just was like, I couldn't, I had to prioritize the babies. So I said, okay, I'll have my hair naturally this way. It just is what it is. I had a banana clip since I give birth to my eldest is 12, so, and my youngest is 10. So you already know I've had this for 10 years now, since I had children. Yes, the Cabal owns, yes, Light Moon, the Cabal owns Starbucks. And guess who they have on the front of, guess who they have on the Starbucks cup? A melanated sea star from the sea, Mami Wata. That's who they have. Listen, yes, the Cabal opened up Starbucks, but guess who they have on the front cover of Starbucks? Who did they worship? Yamiya, Mami Wata. So at the same point, yes, I get you, but you got to be overstanding that everything is relative. So everything's choice. So, if I choose to drink coffee and then everything about me is 90% GMO free, including my body. Flurburn doesn't have any artificial parts in her body. I have 0 tattoos. I'm not having heinous sexual demons connected to me by having hypersexual with multiple men. I drink 0 alcohol. I'm not alcoholic, and I don't do drugs. So yeah, I drink coffee. It is what it is. If it bothers you, C Star, I have no problems with you leaving the platform and deactivating your like from me and your subscription. If that bothers you so much that it causes you to dislike me, I'm okay with you leaving in peace. Anyway, I'm off topic. For anyone who comes on the video, please like the video. I'm off the change today. I'm excited. So let's go back into this discussion, because I'm going all kinds of sidebar. I feel like sidebar. Oh, you see? And, what you will have to do over the next 9 days is simply revisit things that aren't balanced within your life and make decisions based on what would be long-term healthy for you, and if you have children, your family dynamics, or your mate. Some of you are mated or twinned up, okay? So I definitely want you to realize that today is a very pinnacle day, and for the next 9 days, it is necessary for you to begin to really look a little deeper into aspects of what it is that you desire long term, other than just daily. Like even today, I was watching the little people. You know, I watch the little people, right? I was watching the little people walking around, and everyone is on their cell phone. Okay, so there isn't anyone looking up at the sky. There isn't anyone paying attention. And it's really sad to see an environment where I remember, I don't know if many of you are similar age, around the same age. We have younger nieces that don't really remember not having cell phones like that. But I remember walking to school and just talking to my friends, or like looking at the trees or looking up at the sky. I remember as a child looking up at the sky sometimes, like if the sky looked, the clouds looked a certain way, and it wasn't odd. Like we would just look up, I was like, look at that cloud. I tell my girlfriends, like, look at that cloud. Look at that. And they would look up at the clouds and we looked together. There isn't much of that going on anymore. There's a lot of cell phone usage, to the point where the remote controls in their hands is now taking over their minds. And then you wonder why there are mass shootings and all kinds of debaucherous behavior, because everything that is now natural is considered unnatural. I remember us sitting in the park and sitting on leaves. Remember their family? I remember like we'd meet up on weekends and all of us would sit down on leaves on grass. My little ones do that. We used to sit on leaves on grass and just sit there and talk. And it wasn't a big deal. We weren't fussing about bugs on the ground. We were talking about what we were going to do. Sometimes we play tag. We need to get back to that. And that's why I'm okay with what's occurring. You know, I appreciate what's occurring in our environment right now. I appreciate, even though we're undergoing a war, my sisters, and I say my sisters because we have always been, they waged war on us when they came to our planet. They waged war on us when they took away our choice to self-replicate so that we would be forced to mate with males. They took away our choice when they began to enforce rules and regulations that would take our children out of our hands and put a foreign figure in charge of what was righteous for our own family dynamics. They waged war on us when they made us feel incompetent or unnatural or unfit if we weren't matched or with a union with a man. They waged war on us when they made us feel self-conscious about our bodies, whether we show too much or too little, whether forcing us to prostitute ourselves or make ourselves so modest so that we didn't even know what sexuality was anymore. They waged war on us by very nature of every single woman on this planet being traumatized by the suppression of her natural state of being. We've been in war. We've been in war. We just didn't fight. We weren't fighting. We kind of just took it as, okay. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see me. Okay. Oh, the glare is real. And it is time. And I'm for the first time. Oh, wow. I don't know. I think you can see me. The glare is beautiful, but I don't know. I think I'm shadowing. I hope you can see me. There you go. Just the shadow. Okay, I'll go this way. Is it okay? I think you can see me. Okay, there we go. So, sea stars, what I'm saying with this is that we've always been in war. The difference is we aren't going to tolerate it anymore. That's the only difference. The war has been waged. They already did it. But now the tolerance is gone. So I hope you're ready. You know, I was speaking to one of our sea stars yesterday, and we were talking about just the state of everything going on. And I realized, because of the timeline collapse and the amazing invocation of power, empowerment, and the return of the sisterhood of the East, West, and North are on planet as we speak. There isn't any tolerance anymore. I will make this planet better for your children and for mine. I will do it mentally, spiritually, and physically. I am ready. And again, we'll have this conversation. We'll have this conversation on 9/11, and I hope that each one of you realizes that we have to make a stance, because what has occurred has been through our complicity, including myself, our complicity. Our complicity has allowed for suppression of ourself on this planet, our children, our plants, our animals, our very being. We've we've sat idle, myself included. I'm not beyond this conversation or this message. And I made the decision that for the love of my children and the love of humanity, a woman, I'm ready to fight. And I will use everything I know and I have in order to break the chains and to free myself and my sisters. And we will have an amazing, beautiful planet again. But it will be from our own rise. I haven't looked for a man to save me since my husband left. Since I was intolerant of a savage mistreating me or my children, creating an environment of tyranny in my own household. I made the decision yet then. I didn't realize to what degree the fight would be, but I'm ready. So again, I hope this day allows for you to make choices that will put us in a pinnacle position where when we actually sit in unification as a sisterhood on this planet, taking back our planet. Our mother Tiamat is female. She has always been. She is supportive of us, but she couldn't support beings that were asleep, that allowed for her to basically be tortured by these non-mankind who don't have the capacity to love, who don't have the capacity to empathize with the nature of who and what she is, because they don't come from that. And they were created originally to be assisting the sisterhood. And they ended up dominating her and suppressing her. So it's time. So it's necessary for you to make choices on this beautiful 999, the ending of a cycle that will put you in a pinnacle, in a higher position, so that when we go through the actual physical war, you are sitting pretty on a mountain, and any enemy that comes to you will have to come up your hill. And when that bastard or that woman comes up your hill, they know that they won't be able to survive what you have on top, because you have a higher position and you can see from all angles. Make decisions that are better for you and your family. If the decision today is harder to make your life easier, then choose from the position that will long-term benefit you. If the man in your life or the woman in your life is creating chaos, uncertainty, and travesty, you are going to have to literally sit in the face of your fears today. The things that you're most fearful of. Maybe you're fearful of being lonely. Maybe you're fearful of uncertainty. But the uncertainty of being in a household with someone who you would have to walk on eggshells with is so much worse than you being on yourself and your own, and you're making decisions with your higher field of intuition in your own space. Whether it's in a room, listen, we have some of the most powerful sea stars on this platform. Powerful. I've seen women leave with the clothes on their backs, and they are so much happier than being in a castle with a narcissist and a sociopath. The men that have been created on this planet have been created to destroy us at this point. Many of them are sick and infected with the patriarchal vaccination, which disallowed for them for being protective as they should be. A natural male who was created to assist us wouldn't hurt his family. He wouldn't hurt another sister. He's here to service the sisterhood. He's here to protect us. He's here to build and to love and to honor. Where is that gone? Where do you see that on social media? You see men running through our young, beautiful, beautiful sea stars. You see them running through them, hurting them, disregarding them, sometimes murdering them. And we think we haven't been in war? You think for one moment that a man purchasing a baby and him not batting an eye that he won't get arrested or the FBI won't come from him? When would it be that casual for a man to want to purchase a baby and be comfortable to walk to a pregnant mother, unless that was something that was environmentally protected and allowed? We're at war, family, and you will have to choose your side. And I say choose wisely and make your position so comfortable and safe that when the war is actually physically on deck, you have everything necessary, including a higher protective, shielded arena, so that when it's raged, you have all of the advantages. Yeah, there isn't any more excuses. We're there for Flurburn, and many of you know my situation. I don't hide it. It's unnecessary to do so. Being transparent is a way better position than being stuck in a secret and a lie. It's time, and we have all advantages. We're in home court advantage. So, and you have and when I say to you, family, I couldn't lie to you if I wanted to. We have backup like you would not believe. They are not going to help us in the way that you think, but the support system is on deck. Do you understand me? The support system is on deck. For every sea star, you have a galactic set that has your back. This is our complicity is why we fell. Our strength and our self-awareness is why we win. It's a beautiful time on this planet, and I will make it so that my daughters have a better choice, better choices, safety, and that they can birth my grandchildren with a certain level of security that I can pass away and transcend and feel comfortable leaving them on this beautiful planet. Mother Tiamat is a beautiful planet. Everything about her is amazing. She gives us everything we require, everything we need to sustain a healthy life. It is the toxic, parasitic vampires that have been created to be our enemies. They were created from birth. They were our enemies. They were birthed as our enemies. They were created to basically put a foot on our neck and disallow you from ever rising above, from ever getting to the point where you would ever have any sense of security or strength, where you felt independently secure. I remember years ago, the Sea Star had, many of you remember, I did a show. I put it on Patreon, I think. I didn't leave it here because it was, she was going in. She said, I'm not going to mention her name. It's a very, very hard, hard discussion she had. It was heartbreaking, but it was true. It was everything we knew, but no one would ever say it. It was, I think I have it on Patreon. Or I saved it, or it's on Aquarius Rising. I think it's on Aquarius Rising. Many of you remember it. She said her brother, her father, and her sons are her enemies. She said it. She said she birthed devils by having sex with the devil. She said she birthed it. She said she birthed men that hated women because she got with a man who hated women. That's why I tell you, Sea Stars, be careful who you mate with. You will you will birth your enemy by being with beings who have an aversion to the female sex on this planet. You don't realize that because they don't project to you, and they don't teach you to honor yourself and choose from a lineage that has respect for the matriarchy. So when she was talking about it, was so just, listen, it was the most real, you think I have real conversations? Oh no. She had the realest conversation, and it was literally something in my heart that I knew as a woman that she was telling absolutely the truth. I didn't want to hear it, but I heard it. You birth your enemies by sleeping with your enemies. That is why they try to mix with us. That's why many of these men go to countries and they conquer and they kill the men and they sleep and basically impregnate the women. You birth your enemies. We have to stop sleeping with these bastards. They will feed off of you and they will take all of your life force from you and be unapologetic and move on to the next to do the same to another younger version of you. It's time. And for those stepping in the room about Bahamas, I think we just, big up to those. Please put a like on the video. We did, beginning of the video, I also sent out a lot of love and nourishment to our family in Bahamas. I discussed it already. We talked about there's a huge sect of the Haitian populace that was affected in that part of the island that was most decimated. There are thousands of bodies. A lot of people have died. It is absolutely horrific. If you could give gently, worn clothes, especially to the babies. You know, I'm a big proponent of the babies. There are children that need it. A lot of babies need it. If you have anything, if you want to donate, I say not to do to the bigger organizations. As you know, I personally don't support the bigger organizations because they literally will take that money. If you see what happened in Haiti, not one dime went to rebuilding or stabilizing that country. All that money, I donated $600 to what was it, Red Cross? What was it, Red Cross? I think it was Red Cross. $600 to Red Cross and $500 to another organization. The $500, they actually showed me what they purchased with all of my money. $600, they showed nothing. They didn't build one iota of anything in Haiti. They took it, pocketed it, and built their own homes, and ended up, you could see a lot of these wealthier people who ended up buying new yachts, boats, all kinds of things like that. So just know that I would prefer you find a smaller group of people. A lot of Haitians were killed. And again, if you know that the Haitian bloodline comes from a specific bloodline, that is why they targeted, and you think it's by chance that all of a sudden the part of the island that was most affected happened to be mostly Haitians. It's absolutely horrific. And as you know, I always have a very different take on things. I told you that the hurricane was extraterrestrial created. And as I told you, beings were taken and beings were dropped off. Okay? So that being said, my Patreon is patreon.com /Flurbrun. It's my name. So patreon.com/Flurbrun. It should be in the description box. Okay? So I'm just saying, so for many family, we have to really protect ourselves. There isn't a time that we should ever feel settled when a group of people have passed away in that tragedy. It was absolutely horrific. It was 48 hours of hell for those people. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? It was 48 hours of hell. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you. We should never feel settled. Just like many of us were so concerned about the people in Puerto Rico, many of us were concerned about France, many places that were destabilized. We should just be just as concerned and as empathetic and servitude of assisting those in beautiful Bahamas. Bahamas is a place that many of us visit for vacations, and you have to realize it's a very sacred place, being that there are many different there is a pyramid. There are parts of old Atlantis that are actually underneath that area, which was also concentrated, that the hurricane sat on. Okay, so just like you would vacation there, you would want, if you're taking it more on a matrix level and you can't necessarily feel connected to how I talk about extraterrestrials doing that, then take it from a more personal point of view, as a people to people point of view. There isn't anybody who should feel like there's homeless people right now. There are people who don't, and it's very hot and humid after a hurricane. I don't know if many of you experienced a hurricane. Aw, thank you, my love. Thank you. I appreciate it, Sharitha Simpson. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mama. There are a lot of people there. It's very hot and humid. The babies are out there. You know, Red Cross, I have zero trust for, it's my personal opinion. I don't trust Red Cross with, I wouldn't trust them with a crackhead that's in recovery. I wouldn't trust anything with Red Cross. After what I see, what they did with Haiti, and they took all that money. I mean, literally, there was like almost $1 billion donated to Haiti. Nothing was done. Probably Dominican Republic got most of that money, and not Haiti. They have a vendetta against a certain bloodline as well. So, but I personally know that that transcending of those people, they went through a portal. It's my personal opinion is that those people were taken soul-wise back to their planet, to where they come from. That's my opinion. Remember, many of the Haitians are O negative. Many of you didn't know that. We learned it on my show on Aquarius Rising. It was a reveal for me, but many Haitians and Dominicans are O negative. Okay? So it's interesting that that was a placement. And when we know that there isn't anything that dies, it transcends. Usually when people are taken, they're taken in that way. And I personally, it's my personal thought is that they probably experienced some fear, and then they were taken. And I personally think they were taken back to the planet that they came from. It's my opinion. You know, you don't have to accept that. But again, in a physical sense, in a very physical sense, in a very matrix sense, they still passed away. And there shouldn't be any way that we should feel confident, and we should feel comfortable with people dying, and resources need to be given to that island. Just do so. Please find places. There's many people who are donating personally. I told you my girlfriend flew there on a private jet with her husband. I couldn't go because of the amount of sicknesses that are there. I have to protect my offspring. I'm their main source to protect them, so I could not go because I didn't think it was safe enough for me to go there, because people are getting sick. Okay, so I touched on that. You know, for those who are walking in the room, I just wanted to touch on that. So, and that's why I say everything is happening all at once, family. There was years ago when Dr. Delbert Blair, big up to Dr. Delbert Blair, said there would be a time when we'd be in the quickening. We're experiencing the quickening now. We're experiencing that at this particular moment where everything is happening all at once. It almost seems like every day is another tragedy. Every day something is happening. Every day something more horrific is happening. This is the quickening. It is a resolvement of everything all at once. The culmination of all timelines collapsing, everything occurring so that we're able to get it quicker. So in it itself, we have to realize that this is what happens at the end of cycles and then the beginning of cycles. And it is what it is. 2012 is upon us. And the pole shift hasn't happened. It is occurring as we speak. You have volcanic activity happening under what is it? Yellowstone Park. Sorry, took me a moment. Yellowstone Park is boiling. No, they're not telling you on, you only have the YouTubers. That's why I say big up to YouTube for that way. I know YouTube gives me a lot of problems, but in itself, YouTube also is a blessing in disguise, because you get your news sometimes from YouTube, bloggers. And, when you're seeing volcanic activity where it's like almost 100 degrees in one point in Yellowstone blows. That takes out half the Midwest and part of the east on the other side. Why aren't they telling you that people are waking up and they have magma underneath their ground and that ground is hot? There isn't anyone telling you that. That is, you're getting that news from YouTube. And a lot of times you don't realize, family, they delete the videos and people are re-uploading the videos. So there's a lot of silencing of the actual pole shift that's occurring. We're going through a pole shift. If you don't believe it, then that's just something that you will just have to sit with. I know for a fact a pole shift is happening. We have about 6.5 years or less where the actual flip happens. It's when the magnetic field shifts and there's a pole shift where everything's inverted. We were at an inverted position. Why do you think our sea stars are returning from the galactics? These are the same empresses. This is the same queendom that coexisted on the planet previous to the last pole shift. The Mayans never died. They left. They're coming back at the same point of reference because the portal is open now. The same portal they left through is opening. That's why they're able to return. They're returning at the same time they left, because they're claiming the matriarchy on this planet. They're disgusted. They're disgusted to come back to a planet where women are being treated like cattle. They left. There was still a healthy, standing matriarchy on every end of this planet. They came back to this planet, and the planet is batty. We have to make better choices. We have to make better choices. I've been talking about the pole shift. When people thought I was crazy, I was talking about the pole shifts online 6 years ago, and I've been a prepper for over 20 years. Many of you know me from the prepper community. So when I was talking about the pole shift, 6 years ago, people really thought I lost my mind. They were like, oh, this woman, this brown woman of color, she's lost her mind. She's talking about the pole. It wasn't that I was afraid. I was preparing myself to be self-reliant. That's all it was, self-reliant. Because it isn't coming from fear. It's saying, okay, I'm not packing tens of canned goods underneath a fort and expecting, oh, thank you, divine other. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. I'm not packing tons of like canned goods that have leached mercury and metals in an underground bunker. That isn't what I'm doing. I'm preparing myself as a woman, as a mother, as a protector of my offspring, to be able to be independent, in that I can provide healthy fresh water if there isn't any water, that I can give healthy shelter and find spaces where I know will be good to stake out or be for a while, to be able to defend myself and protect myself and my offspring. These are the reasons why you would prep. It isn't necessarily to be a hoarder of food and technology. A world where it's healthy and natural, where women can walk freely and be healthy with their babies and be protected. So it's necessary for us to begin to make choices which put us in a healthier disposition and a healthier placement, so that we are totally aware of who and what we are, our strengths, and some of our abilities that maybe need a little more help and focus, that we should work on now, before we get to a point where you have to be thrown into the pit of fire. If you know that you're going to be put in the pit, you should already have pit wear. You should already have created a way so that you can maintain yourself, whether it's spiritually, raising yourself past that point of being affected by that kind of physical trauma, or being able to deal with the elements so you can master it. That's all it is. So it's necessary for us as a humanity on this planet, as earthlings, to get it together. Today is a portal, a 999 portal. We have 9 days before you solidify your timeline. Your timeline will be solidified. The choices that you make within the next 9 days, you've been making it. I don't want to make it seem like you haven't been making choices. We've all been making choices. We've all been stepping it up, trying to discover parts about ourselves that are traumatized, to try to heal it, self-heal, maybe get assistance from others who are better at working and helping, assisting us in that way. We began to create liaisons with other like-minded frequencies, so that when things do go array for the matrix people, we have a level of telepathy and connectivity that we can give each other peace. A lot of the sea stars and sun in a video, I appreciate it when you come in the room, just as a general as a house like coming in the house, I guess. I appreciate it when you put a like on a video. And like I said, when you put a like on a video, it makes a difference to YouTube, as far as they still mess with my channel, but it just makes it seem like people are watching. So when you put a like in a video, they're like, okay, we know that people are on there, and if we do something, we know that we're being monitored. That's all it does. Thank you. I appreciate it when you do that. So let's see. Revelation, preparation, manifestation. Woo, Stefani, I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, you will get a resurfacing of people coming into your life, maybe today, over the next couple of days. Your choices will be pinnacle. Choose from a position of what you will know will propel you into higher levels of consciousness and frequency. So again, if you always decided that you wanted to relocate, and you were always wavering on it, maybe you just, I'll do that another time. Make that decision. You don't have to move now, but make the decision. Make the decision now to say, you know what? I choose to be somewhere which is balanced with myself and my children, would propel me into higher states of awareness around people who are more in a likeness. Thank you, Delina. Thank you, Delina. Delphina, thank you so much, my love. As a mother and goddess, I thank you for a voice and vibration. I am another you in Lakech. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think it's necessary. So just make the decision. So if you decided you wanted to be somewhere different, just make sure that you don't have to move, but when you put the energy and the mindset and the manifestation of saying, I accept that I will be, and I choose to be in a location that is great for my highest and greatest good and is healthy for my family dynamics. You put that frequency out there and it propels you there. Make these decisions today and within the next couple of days. Don't teeter-totter on the fence, because what happens is that if you get a little unbalanced on the fence, you end up falling in a direction that maybe you weren't prepared to even choose. So make the choice yourself. Always make choices yourself without allowing others being forced to make decisions for you. Look at the monster. Look at the monster and look at the fear. What you fear is usually your greatest gift. It will be your greatest gift when you choose to see that which you fear, because that which you fear is usually a shadow, something that needs to be resolved, something that is there hidden that maybe you've suppressed. Look at the monster. The monster is always something within ourselves. Look at the monster and say, you know what? That is something I've been afraid of. I'm going to see that. Sometimes it's something so simple or so much more simple than we would even anticipate. I see that. Maybe you're afraid of being alone. So your partnership is what you're choosing by default, because you would prefer to be with someone that you kind of like, or they aren't greatest for you, greatest and good, because it just is comfortable. Say, listen, I would choose to be on my own in happiness than to be with someone in unhappiness. I would choose to be on my own in self-security and self-awareness and higher vibration than to be in a relationship that isn't for my highest and greatest good and also feeds off of me and depletes me. Choose from a higher position and propel yourself in a high enough form of who you would be in the future, in a position so that if anything ever challenges you, you're on the highest mountain. You can see it coming. Do you understand? I would say all the time, like when people would say they're psychic, I had to explain this to my little ones one time. And because I was a teacher, I have a way of describing things so it allows for them to understand the concept. I said psychicness isn't something supernatural necessarily. What it is having a higher perspective of things. So let's just say there's traffic in New York City. Let's just say this, and it's a high rise, right? So as you're in the car, you can only see the cars in front of you to a certain point. You just know something's ahead, but you can't really see it. The person can get out, and let's say they're going up the elevator in a high rise. Let's say they get out of the car and they decide, you know what, let me pull over. I don't know what's going on. Let me see from a higher perspective. They go out and they get into a car. Maybe they get into an elevator and they go up. And they go up to the highest level in that building, one of the highest buildings in New York. And as they're standing on the roof, they see, that's all it is. There was somebody there rubbernecking. About a mile ahead, they can see ahead of them. And they see why there's traffic. So they understand that if they turn around the corner, they won't be in traffic because there wasn't any traffic, because they can see from the other side as well. So they can see from all positions higher up. That's what psychicness is. That's all it is. When you get so high up that you can see from the highest level above the rift. So when we're limited, we're on that main floor. We can only see as far as we visually are able or capable of seeing. When we go to higher forms of sight or awareness, you see above everything, so you can see what's happening ahead. You can, it's not predicting it, you see it. so you can make better decisions based on a higher perspective and a higher sense of awareness. That's all psychicness is. And you don't have to be all hooty-dooty. You don't necessarily have to be, do all these magical things. It's being in touch with your highest self, knowing, having heightened awareness, being core aware, being aware of your core will allow you to have that higher perspective. That's all it is. And once you are able to access a higher perspective and line of sight, you will make decisions that are more sound. You will be in positions of safety. By being there, you are shielded by the position that there aren't many people who can be on that rooftop. Not many people have the access or even the knowing to go to a higher, or taking the time to go and get a higher perspective. That's all it is. So I always say to you, if you make decisions based on not the moment, but on projecting where you want to propel yourself, you'll be on the higher floor and you'll be able to see past the delays, the aggravation, the limitation. That's it. And that's all. So making decision over the next couple of days, Santa Claus is coming in a couple of days. He knows you've been naughty or nice. You know that karma is going to play out. Remember, I said this, all debts are due. All debts are due. So all the karma for over the next, from the 9 years to 9 months, from 9 years ago to 9 months, all the karma that has not been paid will be paid within the next 9 days to after. Once Saturn comes, all karmic debts are paid. I told you, if you were eating from the mini bar in your hotel room, if you were eating all the goodies, I don't know what they hold. Somebody say Snickers. I don't know what they hold in the mini bars. If you were eating all the mini bar goodies, right? Drinking on the punch. We say punch in Creole, right? We say punch. You were drinking on the punch, right? Drinking all these little liquor bottles, right? The liquor bottles. You were enjoying yourself, right? Partying, jumping on the beds, not cleaning anything, putting holes in the bed because you would listen to music. You felt like, you would listen to that low vibrational music, putting holes in the hotel room, right? Check out. It's time for checkout. What happens when you go downstairs at checkout? Okay, ma'am, you owe 5,643,000 karmic debt. That's your karmic debt. Oh wait, I don't have that. Oh really? You don't have that? That's what you drank all. You were drinking all the punch, right? You drank all the punch. You ate all the Snickers and the Pringles, right? You had all the wine, right? You have dropped it like it's hot. You had like hip hop people in your room. You thought you were a superstar. You were like this in your room, right? You were knocking down walls, having wild sex. It's checkout. You owe that. Well, ma'am, I don't have the money. I don't have the credibility credit. I don't have the karmic credit for that. Oh, really? Well, if you don't pay, you're going to have a consequence for that. So if you aren't paying by choice for your karma, we have a consequence for you that's greater than if you chose to pay for the things you actually did. Well, ma'am, I'm going to have to do that because I don't have the karmic credit for that. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. You get arrested. You go to jail. You have to drop your pants. They got to look in your anal cavity. You get violated. You get locked up. You got to call your boyfriend or your mother that you haven't talked to 20 years to try to give you karmic. You're done. All debts are due. There isn't any more waiting. They gave you time to get yourself together. They gave you time to clean up the room. They gave you time to go to the actual liquor store and replace the liquor that you drank. They gave you time to go replace the Pringles that you ate. They gave you time to fix the drywall that you purposefully knocked off when you were dropping it like it's hot. They gave you time. You have zero time. The karmic debt is due. You owe what you did. Karma is what you did. So if you've been hurting people, if you've been doing dastardly things to your own self, everything is due. Daddy is coming home on 9 days and you have a choice. I'm sorry. 10 cheeseburgers. Oh yeah, you get room service. Forget the room. I didn't even add room service. I didn't add room service when people are eating fish eggs, having beluga caviar, ordering beluga and champagne. Some of you like to eat. I have girlfriends that do that. They go beluga and caviar and champagne. Okay? Debt is due. Some of you already paid your debt because you said, oh my goodness. Oh, guess what? Oh, thank you, my love, KM. Time jump. Saw a tall green being with big heads, white cloaks, face thrown. Love you. Oh, wait. KM said, wait, we've got a disclosure here. Time jump. Saw tall green beings with big white heads, white cloaks facing a throne. This is interesting. When did you see that, KM? Did you see that? Did you see it like during a certain time, a phase of moon? We got a lot of beings working over here. That's interesting. Now, I've never heard of beings that look like this. We have many beings here. Now, these beings might be ancient beings that were here previously, because remember, we're turning back to a certain point. Thank you for that. That's a good share. Thank you. We need to, I'm going to put that down, because many of the beings that come here, everybody has their own level of seeing certain entities. We have to make it count, because there's so many different beings. Sometimes the contactees see versions of the beings that they see from their timeline, but others see it from another point of reference in another timeline. There's different beings interacting with humanity on different points of reference. It's amazing. Thank you for that. I get excited. I get excited when I hear about new beings, because it's good. This is good intel, so that we're not shocked. Because you say, oh, KM said she saw that being. So if you happen to see them, or they come and disclose with those beings, because KM already gave you the down low. 9 days, family. Pay your debt. Pay your debt. And like I said, some people paid their debt already. Remember, some of you were in the hotel room and you decided to go to the store, the hardware store, and patch up the holes in the wall. Some of you decided to go and replace the things that you ate in the mini bar. Some of you decided to pay the debt as you were staying in a hotel, so you wouldn't have a huge bill at the end, and it wasn't due all at once. So this isn't going to those who do the due diligence and said, you know what, I did wrong. You know what, I'm sorry. I hurt your feelings. What? I did wrong. You know what? I'm sorry. I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry. You know what? I was wrong for hurting you, and I was disregarding of you. And you know what? I apologize. I wasn't necessarily being righteous. Maybe I was feeling insecure, so I hurt you because I wasn't feeling good about myself. You know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I promise that if you decide you want to be my friend or my man or what have you, or my mate, I promise that I will make better decisions from a more mindful disposition, and I apologize. And I will do something to make it up. I apologize. I like to take you out for lunch or dinner, or you know what, I'm going to send you like a good package of like fresh fruits from the fresh food market, and I'm going to do that for like a week, because I want to make that up to you, because I really think that was really trashy of me and disregarding, and I really should work on myself. Do you see what I'm saying? So guess what? That karmic bill, subtracted. Okay. You're not doing it for that reason, but you paid because you realized that you too were traumatized. You did something harmful to another person. You did it. You got to take onus. Or you did something like maybe you didn't take care of yourself. And the apology needs to go to yourself. You know what, body? I like to eat all day and night. I do. I like to eat and watch Netflix. And I know I haven't been good to you. I know that I haven't been mindful of how I treat you. And I know that you're feeling hampered and you aren't feeling good and you're feeling sickly. I'm sorry, body. I'm sorry for treating you with such disdain and non-respect. I'm grateful that I have you and that you sustain me and that you allow me to live my life to my greatest and highest capacity. You let me walk places that I normally couldn't walk. I'm so appreciative. You know what? I'm going to treat you better. I'm sorry. you know what? I'm going to fast a little bit. I want to detox you. I want you to realize I want to take all the garbage I put in you out. I want to fast. I'm going to take all that garbage I put in you, all the poison that I do to you. I'm sorry. I'm going to take it out. I promise. I'm going to clean up you because I love you and I appreciate you and I wasn't honoring of you. So I want to honor you. I'm going to fast and then I'm going to replenish you with all of the best things. I promise you. I promise you I'm going to give you like fresh, whole vegetables. I'm going to try to create it myself so I can feed you. I'm going to give you fresh fruit. I'm going to make sure I hydrate you to keep you nice and fresh and good. I'm sorry and I hope you forgive me, body. Karmic debts paid. Remember, loving yourself is much more pertinent first before you can address anything else. Karma is due. If you don't have the karmic credit to pay for the debt that you've accrued by doing what you've done to self, to others, to humanity, to nature, to the world, you are 9 days, mofos. 9 days. Your debt is due. If you don't have the credit, by all means, you should kind of scoot that together and get it together real quick. And don't just do it to do it. Do it because you overstand it. Overstand that there are things that you do to yourself that aren't kind. There are things that you do to others that aren't kind. There's things that you do to the environment that isn't kind. So just by remedying it that doesn't take all the karmic debt off. It's acknowledging and overstanding the detriment that comes with creating disharmony. That's the biggest part is the acknowledgement. And then the action to follow. Because if I acknowledge it and then I still do the same dastardly deeds to you, if I acknowledge that I hurt you and I'm cheating on you, and then I still cheat on you, even though I've told you I acknowledge it, that it's like a wash. What's the point? We are at the pinnacle point where we're gifted with the ability to make personal choices. There aren't any victims on this planet. Let me say that again. There aren't any victims on this planet. We all chose to come here based on a necessity to raise our level of awareness and consciousness and spirituality, or to assist those who need assistance in raising their consciousness and getting to higher levels of awareness. Regardless, we've chose to come here. I know for a fact every single one of us have chosen to come here. However it shows up is your level of awareness, your level of activity that is to create and evolve you to other forms of awareness and consciousness. And once you acknowledge that, then you too will be on the highest point, reference point, on the top peak of the mountain, seeing the pole shift go through what it's going through, but you will be safely on top, aware of what you can do and how you can avert certain things for your own benefit and for your own future safety. Make choices today within the next couple of days. I'm sorry I'm putting pressure on you in order to place you in a higher position. You may not be able to make it to the top floor. That's okay. But being on the 6th floor is better than being on the ground floor. Being on the 3rd floor is better than being on the 1st floor. Being on the 10th floor is better than being on the 6th floor. So whatever position, whatever floor you're on, as long as you can see a further distance away and have a healthier perspective of what your awareness is, then that's the key. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, depending on where you are in your neighborhood. Why do you think penthouses are so much money? You ever stay in a Manhattan penthouse? Why do you think the penthouse is the most money? Why do you think when you go on a cruise ship, you pay more money to be in the top levels than in the bottom? Remember when you go on the cruise, you'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go on this cruise. I'm gonna enjoy myself with my homegirls. Oh, what are you talking about? $200? Cool. But your girlfriend says, nah, I don't want to stay on the bottom by the engine. I want to stay on the top with the balcony so I can see. Don't you know whenever there's a crash in a ship, you know who passes away first, right? Who ends up having the most adversity? Is it the person on the top who could see ahead, who sees the iceberg ahead? You saw a Titanic, right? Iceberg. The people who saw it were the ones who were prepping and getting on those ships, those little rafts. The ones who were in the bottom, who were unaware, who were limited based on maybe choices or things that they didn't even think were pertinent, they were the ones who experienced the most adversity and may not have made it out that scenario. You want to place yourself on the top floor, not in perspective as being over anyone, but being in heightened awareness for your own personal advantage. You don't want to step on anyone to get to that point of reference. You want to choose it safely and with integrity. If you're stepping on someone to get the highest reference point, best believe if you step on them and they start to depreciate and start to decay, there won't be that point of reference for you being that high anymore if you've used every source of stepping on people. Eventually they fall apart and you won't have a base. How base? How low can you go? Death row, what a buffalo. Once again, you are. Remember that? I love that song. 11, 11, 11. Please put a like on the video for all those wonderful beings, earthlings, others who are on this feed. I appreciate when you put a like on my video because it shows YouTube that this conversation is relative. So I'm just saying, you know, like I said, if I'm going to give you examples, like if your ex calls you today and you love, make sure there's no babies in the room, because you know sometimes floor burn goes left. I know there's a let's stay. Big up to my stay-at-home mommies. I love you. I remember those days. Listen, I was a stay-at-home mommy, and YouTube was my form of therapy sometimes. So big up to my stay-at-home mommies and daddies and abuelas. Abuelas are home too. Big up to the abuelas who are watching the grandbabies. Hi, babies. Put the little babies aside and put the earbuds on you, because sometimes I go a little left, and I take responsibility for what I say on here, and I make sure that I have to be careful what I say, because I have little people, and I love being protective of our little people. But I will just say this: you have an ex. I already told you. I warned you. You have an ex who calls you. I'm talking to our family here. Ex-man, ex-female. She's sexy. He's sexy. You love having sex with him. He's a whore. She's a whore. I don't want to say, I say whore. Let's say they're free-spirited sexually with others. They're walking legions of incubus and succubus, okay? But they're sexy. You love how they do everything. You know that they only come to use you. You know that they only come around every once in a while to just taste of your elixir, and they haven't any intention to be with you. You know that they're bringing demons of mass destruction with their dirty wands, or she's bringing a yoni that has all kinds of leagues of demonics inside of her black hole. These are the beings that will call you. You haven't had sex in a long time. You've actually, you know, you didn't have a chance. You're really horny. You just feel like, oh my God, I know he'll do it right. I know she'll do it right. What choice will you make, knowing that when you sleep with that being, you depreciate yourself energetically, because the leagues are feeding on their low vibrational activity, but it's not enough. They want a light being like you. You know that when you have interaction with them, you may catch an STD, sexually transmitted demon. You know that even though you desire them physically, that they are a cloak screen for a demonic just waiting to infect your mind, body, and spirit. What will you choose? Will you choose to engage with that being because you have a level of weakness? You lack self-awareness enough, and you know that you've done this over and over again, and you know how you're hampered. What choice will you make? Will you choose to say, you know what, partner, don't call me again. I am not your graveyard for your semen that have leagues of demons on them. I am a goddess who has a universe between her legs. My Stargate brings beings from other planet that choose to come through. Why would I let your dirty wand, your sick, dirty, non-masterful wand, come inside of my yoni space to depreciate and take away everything I've worked for. Why? That's a decision you may make today. Please put a... I know many of you had that choice because listen, you may... It's true. They will call you and challenge you. You will be tested with those things that most are your greatest challenges. Your greatest challenges is what what will come against you today and for the next couple of days. Those tests to see if you are about this life. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. No, it doesn't mean that you have to always be in a sense of perfection. There isn't anything on this planet. It's okay to be imperfectly perfect. Okay. But you will make the choice based on how much you love yourself and how aware you are of the consequences of your choices. That is your test. If someone calls you today who pissed you off and they don't even know it yet, they don't even know they made you mad because they did something crazy and you found out about it and you're about to let the Kraken go on that phone, are you going to fall into the pattern of being provoked and gaslit by a demon who wants to feed off of your negative reaction? Are you going to fall into the pattern of like answering the phone when you know you need to send it to voicemail and take a deep breath and go eat a cherry or a mango to kind of take down, to kind of mute the frequency? Are you going to answer the phone and let go of the Kraken? You're going to have all kinds of mass destruction coming out your verbiage. You're going to say all kinds of depreciated things that you know very well are heinous and aren't in your natural state of being. Are you going to be provoked? Are you going to be challenged by that? What will you choose today? Okay? Are you going to choose to go and have that greasy hamburger that you know they have geo-engineered? No, wait, the chicken sandwich. Wait. Are you choosing today to go and have the Popeyes chicken sandwich of death with all kinds of nanotechnology because you in lunch, Popeyes right across the street from you. You see it, you smell it all the time. Your coworkers are all bringing into the office chicken sandwiches and mass destruction. You're hungry as all heaven. You've been in a board meeting. You don't have time to go and order a salad because they may take too much time for you preparing the beautiful, healthy salad that you know would be better for your body. But you're looking at the Popeyes because Popeyes looks good. Your coworker is like taking bites of mass destruction in their mouth. You smell it smells good because you know it's all sinful because you know it's all demon. Because demons like to, shapeshift the way they're eating the sandwich. Are you gonna go and take the nanobot sandwich because you're hungry? Or are you gonna take the high road and take a sip of your alkaline water that you brought from work and just take a deep breath and envision yourself having some fresh vegetable, or knowing that you're gonna stop at the market afterwards and get a nice fresh mango you saw on the stand and it was organic? Are you gonna do that? Or are you going to take a bite of the nano sandwich? It's your choice. The nanobots will all kinds of infect you. Remember, the nanobots are going to come in, take over the mind. It's infection and mass destruction. What will you do? Benita said she's eating French fries. I have to go. I'm giving you examples. I'm doing this because I'm a teacher and my mommy's a teacher and I was raised by teachers. We give examples. All this is saying, I want you to choose yourself. I don't want to promote anything. It is a free will on this planet. I want you to choose what is to your desire of what you see for your life on this planet Earth, because we're going through the shift. What position do you want to place yourself in where you are picking and choosing a certain frequency to allow for you to propel you into the frequency that you desire long term. What? That's all. That's all. That's all I say. I can say I love you as a family. I love you as a support system. Each one of you has been pinnacle in my own transformation. Remember, many years ago, I came on YouTube as a mommy, a contactee from Mount Vernon, New York, big up to Mount Vernon, New York, looking for one person who I could find who could relate to the things I was sharing, to the things I was experiencing. Aw, thank you, Joy. Pervy, I've been watching you for years. You're a great source of confirmations. TY love, to you love. I am getting called to to download. Oh, I don't know what to do. You're getting some sort of binary codes. You're getting binary codes? Love? Hold on. I just want to say. You're getting binary codes, Joy. Do what drives, whenever you get codes, my love. Let me see what this adds up to. Hold on. That's a 3. Okay. You're getting binary codes. I know codes usually come in 0s and 1s, binary codes. Do what you're propelled to do. Whenever you get codes or things like that, it's whatever is being naturally propelling you to do something, that's what you do. So whatever comes after the code, like if a thought comes in your head, follow that. And if it's sitting well with you, it's not going in your pit of your stomach. I have to say, oh, Goddess Supreme is getting codes too. Oh, we're getting codes on here. Hold on. You guys are getting codes. Okay, you're getting downloads. The light workers are getting downloads. Okay, this is good. This could be coming from our Supreme Sisters that are here. Joy Provy. We may be getting coded from our Supreme Sisters. This could be coming from the Divine Sisterhood. They're here. This is beautiful. I want you ladies to write them down. Whatever is being messages. Remember, when we get coding, there's a message. Sometimes it's subconscious. We may not be able to access it, but it will propel us to do certain things. Follow whatever goes with that. Write it down. Make sure you have the time of day. Make sure, remember, I'm a document. Time of day you get it, phase of moon, date, what you were doing right before you got the code and what you did right after. It's very important because it will tell you more. Sometimes we forget, we get the codes and we're like, oh my gosh, I got the code and I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. Document. When you document it, when you go back to reference it, you'll know exactly what it means. Usually it'll just come in. Look at the codes in here. I love this. I hope everyone's writing these codes down. Also, we're getting, like I said, we're getting codes from our sisters on boots on ground, paws on ground. So we're getting remember the Lyrians are here. And oh, let me confirm, the Lyrians are the guardians. They are guarding the gates, all the stargates. Big up to Aluna. Oh, wait, let me do a shout out. Big up to Aluna, who is going in the Jaguar. Aluna's always on point. Listen, me and Aluna for years will be in the same frequency and not even know it. That's how you know it's the same. It's a coded frequency. It's like in a frequency wherever whoever's there gets these frequencies at the same time from different points of reference. It's beautiful. Big up to Aluna. Aluna will be here for the conference. Oh, for the conference. Let me say this. Please put a like on the video for anyone who comes in the room. Aluna will be here for the comments. I'm excited. I'm getting all conference stuff together. For those who are actually booking for the conference, I'm going to actually put a date to close it. I normally don't do that, but I think I have to because I want to make sure that everything is perfect. I love having gatherings. If you know Florida, I love that. It's one of the things my parents did. I love gatherings and I want everything to be amazing. So I may have to close the date of, I'm sorry, family. It was the heat. Wasn't anything diabolical. It was the heat, family. I apologize. When it's hot like that outside, remember, I'm used to the heat, the phone. Remember, it's sad when the phone overheats before you overheat. That tells you something. So I'm back. I'm sorry. I apologize and I don't like leaving the plug in because my phone is dead. Says everyone, are you getting codes? Everyone's getting codes still? For anyone getting codes now, I think maybe the sisterhood might be getting codes. You getting codes? Okay, we have codes on here. For any of the sisterhood getting codes, I'm going to take down the codes after we're done. You might be getting downloads from the boots on ground, the paws on ground. I have a feeling that many of you are getting, can everyone hear? Can anyone hear me? Hopefully, put a 13 if you can hear me. Put a 13 if I'm here and you can hear me. You can? Okay. Okay, yes, okay. Just making sure. All right, I'm not gonna stay on too much longer. I'm gonna, okay, okay. Whew, it's hot as heaven outside. Thank you, my loves. I'm sorry, I apologize. Sometimes what happens is I like sitting outside. I used to do that in New York a lot. I love sitting outside in the truck and just sitting like in my driveway. Yeah. There's nothing, some people are like, why do you want to sit? I do like that. I don't know. I like to put my foot up in the car. That's what I do. I was talking about the conference. Big up to Aluna. Aluna Ash is coming to the conference. We have, of course, my wonderful, amazing Ada, who talks about the contact with the dark beings. We have some guests showing up for the conference. So for those who are coming to the conference, I was saying that before I left, I may have to put a cap on when the last booking. I think I might do October 1st might be the last date, or October the 15th, roughly around then, because I want to be able to solidify the dates. You know, normally, and I may let that open up wide, but if you're going to do it, try to do it before like do it by October the 1st or the 15th, somewhere in between there, okay? Because I just want to make sure, if you want to inquire about the conference, go to delgoddess@gmail.com, DELGADDESS@gmail.com, my email. My email is in the description, so you can always go there. And remember, this conference, big up to the last conference I did last year. I do everything myself, so there isn't any inception. It is all divinely orchestrated. It is a mommy from Mount Vernon, New York, who does the conference. I decided to do a conference last year after the number one inquiry that I was getting from many people is, how come, Florburn, you're not invited to any of the major UFO and ET conferences? There was a blackout of even a thought, even of a couple of the people who were asking about me at the conferences. So I said, listen, I was never raised to beg anyone for anything. If I want to be a party to something with my own translations and my own truth, there isn't anyone I have to beg. I create my own. So I'm the first woman who's created a UFO conference, ET Experiencer Conference, which I'm grateful for. It was interesting. It was a lot of beauty in getting together with everyone, and this will be the second year. So I'm grateful for everyone who comes. Again, if you are going to book, try to do it. It just gives me time. Try to do it before the 15th of October. The 1st, I prefer you do it by October the 1st, so I have an idea of all who's coming, because, you know, people will come, and last year I just let everyone do it to the door, but it was at the hotel, it was at the castle. But this time it's on site, a site on a bayou. So I want to have a good number of whoever's coming. We getting codes in here. Oh, I love it. Our sea stars are getting coded. This is a sisterhood coming online. Listen, take down the codes. I'm going to write down all the codes. We're getting codes right now. Make sure if you're getting your uploads of codes, write them down. We're having a really piloted, amazing, high frequency conversation here. The codes are coming in because it's necessary for us to get them. Every time we see them, and also we take them down, they end up doing or gifting us with some revelation. So it's necessary for you to make sure that you write everything down. We come together all the time. My brother desires to attend your conference. I will keep him informed. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. We get codes. Yeah, we're getting 222s. Wow. We're getting the codes in here. I love this. This is beautiful. Look at this. 1133. Yeah, 888. Look at this. It's beautiful. Every time we see him, it does something. Like I said, we got paws on ground. We've got the Illyrians. For those who are aware of the Illyrians are actually on ground. And like I said, when I saw Luna's picture, what did is, because I was looking at, you know, they have all the YouTube stuff. So this morning, I opened up the YouTube and I see Lyrians are just cat beings. She's got the jaguars, which are the Mayan jaguars. I was like, oh my gosh, they're here. So everyone is being basically driven, or there's a sense of urgency that many of you are experiencing. Some of you may be having heart palpitations. Watch your body right now. Our body, this isn't, I'll discuss this on 9/11. There are other things I'll discuss on 9/11 to the sisterhood. It's a beautiful message to the sisterhood and to those who are the Dark Lords, who are no or won't any longer have any say in what happens on this planet. But much is happening. Your bodies will be shifting right now. Look at the codes right now. It's beautiful. Make sure you look at them because they activate you. Because each of the sisters has an activation. Because it's almost like, remember, like every time a sister is activated, because we share the double X's, we get coded. Like the codes will actually invoke us. It's almost like a message, like coded messages. It's very necessary. Your bodies are going to change a little bit. The sisterhood. The men, I'm not sure. I've got to get a little bit more information about the male, how the males are being affected by. I know a lot of them are getting angry and desperate. A lot of men are feeling the anxiety in a different way. It's making them want to hold on to us tighter. So we got to be careful with that. There's a lot of stalking going on. A lot of men who are feeling like they want to hold on tighter to you or to women. So be mindful, sea stars, because men are becoming much more controlling because they know it's over. It's subconsciously, they have an awareness of it. So be careful. I should have gave this warning before. Be careful with the with a lot of stalking. I literally, I think since the convergence, well, probably since we did the the twin flame activation, the stalking on me has gone up 100%. And you know, I always got stalked to a somewhat extent, but the men stalking me now have gone to 100%, and it's because of the energy. So now, you know, I have to be mindful and more protective of myself because, and that's why with the conference, big up to those who are going to the conference. That's why for the conference, you know, Flurboon is all about security because I know I have some of the most beautiful, amazing sea stars and sun stars. I have my sea stars and sun stars shine. It's true. I think many people come to my platform and say I have the most luminous sea stars and sun stars, and for that reason, I think our platform, you know, a lot of people want to come to the conference because they want to be around that beauty and that luminousness. So I have to be very protective, and I'm very protective of my sea stars and sun stars. So anyone attending, if you know me already and you attended last year's conference, I'm about this life. So I make sure it's a very safe, amazing experience, and I make sure that I protect my family to the 1000th degree. But just know that males right now will be highly addicted to having females, and also they will hold on tighter. So I want you, sea stars, if you have an egregious male at home, you still living with your narcissist, your Nazi, your sociopath, because a lot of these sociopaths are psychopaths. They're borderline psychopaths. I think some of them are actually psychopaths. I want you to make sure that you are protecting yourself. You make sure that, and you don't tell him. You make sure that you are making sure that you have some safety, you have a safety place to go, you have something to protect yourself if need be, if he gets out of line and you know that he's handsy, and if you say something, because right now he's piloted. The males on the planet aren't feeling very confident right now because we're returning back to the matriarchy. We're going into unity consciousness, so it isn't going to negate males. It's actually going to put males in a very healthy males. It'll actually propel males that are healthy in a healthier way. It is. So when people say, when the guys say, oh, Flurboon, do you mean that you aren't going to need males? I'm not saying that. I'm saying most of us may return to being able to replicate ourselves through parthenogenesis. That I know for a fact. Many of us won't require a man. It's already happening. Remember, we didn't have males for having children. We replicated ourselves. And if you have not seen the movie No Men Allowed, remember by accident I rented this movie on Redbox a couple of years ago. I think I told you guys. No Men Allowed. It goes into, and there's also something on. It's not Twilight Zone. It's on. What was the other one? I forgot the other show. It talks about when men aren't required anymore, women start replicating themselves. So just be mindful. See, Avian has a beautiful husband. Yeah, you're sitting in a healthy position. We're going into unity consciousness, but the first step is to going into a healthy matriarchy. Remember, the planet is matriarchal. It doesn't negate the mating, but we will start to mate we will start to replicate ourselves. So now you're starting to see females replicate themselves. That's why you have a lot of males who are having womb envy. There's a lot of males that want to having outer limits. Thank you, Page of Swords. Page of Swords knew. I love it that you know that. It's outer limits, where you saw the one where the women had one man and then they brought him back to life and all of them started fighting because one man was woken up. When they were just in their sisterhood, everybody got along, and as soon as they woke up one man, everything went, they warned them. So I'm just saying that we will be returning back to our healthy state of being as a sisterhood, as a female sect on this planet. Now, we're healthy males will be here. That they're here. So healthy males will be here, and they will absolutely sit well with us. But we have to go to a healthy matriarchy first. Remember, when you have a downfall of a society to that degree and a suppression of the female, we have to get healthy. There isn't any other standing society until we get good. When we're well and we're in a healthy state of consciousness and awareness, then you may mate with, you know, a healthier male. But unhealthy males won't be here. They will exterminate them. I shouldn't say, oh darn, I'm giving you messages. Yeah, well, I told you already. Yeah, unhealthy males are gonna be exterminated. That was the intel I got. So that's why I'm not too worried, but it's a war because they're gonna fight. So unhealthy males, that's what I'm saying. Sea stars, if you're being called to separate, because remember there's drive-bys right now. So if you are being called to leave a certain male that's heinous to you, he's egregious, and we don't have to say it, you know, turn this off if he's in the room or anything like that. It's your time to leave. They're going to get rid of him. I got that word 2 days ago. They won't be here. Whether it's by chemicalization of males to disallow for them to, they might end up getting sick or poisoned. I don't know. It isn't me. Listen, I'm not calling for this. Let me say this on YouTube. I'm not calling for this to happen. I'm not wishing death on anyone. There isn't any me in this. This is the intel that I got, is that unhealthy males, when I say unhealthy males, males that are violent against females, men that are having sex with animals and children, they will be exterminated. Do you understand me? That I know for a fact. The men who are raping children, having beating and egregiously mistreating women, they will be exterminated. However that happens, it may be in a multitude of ways, but they will be eliminated from this planet. That is the intel that I got. So, but they already know this. So because of that, the more egregious ones will fight. So that's why you have to be up on yourselves, sea stars. If you're with one of those diabolical males, this isn't the time for you to be in a household with him. This isn't the time. And you have to protect yourself. I'm not saying for you to leave. I'm telling you to get to the point where you have enough love for self and your family that you go somewhere safely. There's a lot of sea stars that are very helpful. Contact some of our sea stars on here. There are places where you will, remember, we're in home court advantage. You'll have more help now than you ever did before. If you're attached to an unhealthy male, he's not gonna be here. And if he's less than unhealthy, he's just slightly underneath the radar, his wand will stop working. They're going to euthanize these males. They're going to euthanize them, or they're going to neuter them. So males will either be neutered or euthanized that are unhealthy. So he won't be able to replicate himself. There isn't any, the sisterhood is back, and they are disgusted, and they won't allow for these things to happen any longer. They're not going to help us, like, they're not going to fight with us, no. But they will give us backing. Basically, if we choose to sit in a position of power, we got a sisterhood backing us. That's what they do. They give us the oomph behind our motivation to be healthier. So you will be supported in that way. But they're going to be, our planet will be clean. After pole shift, there won't be the dirty males, the diabolical males that like to stick wand violators, community wands who like to violate women by sticking their wands and everything, impregnating women and leaving them with children with no intention of taking care of them. They won't be here. And you don't have to believe me. You just have to watch. I said, remember what I told you 5 years ago? You're seeing what I say come true. So when I say things 1000%, it's because I know it with certainty. They won't be here. We need healthier sisters, and we can't have men who are perpetually stepping on, suppressing the sisters by either financially or physically or mentally or spiritually. You have war. They wage war on you in all directions. And then they have men that they created men that want to be women, so they want to take your place. So there's a couple things. They either want to suppress you or they want to be you. Okay, so you have men who are stealing wombs right now in order to replicate, because they know we're going to self-replicate. That women will start coming on the planet able to replicate again. So they're already there. That insecurity is already in them. So now you're starting to see them steal wombs from women and starting to want to reproduce, because if they can't be you, then they want to. If they can't suppress you or hurt you, they want to be you. Because you're God, you're a goddess. You've always been. You always had the capability of creating life. So that, for the reason that you can create life, every being envies you. You are a goddess. That's why in Christianity it's insane to say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It would be the mother, the daughter, and the son. I mean, we give birth to life. It isn't a man giving birth to life, it's a woman. So it's not depreciating him, but it's putting you back in your position of power. You are the end all be all. And it was beautiful that my girlfriend, big up to our Muslim sisters, the Islam sisterhood and the Hebrew sisters that are going through their own level of awareness and awakening. You know, it was beautiful that my Muslim sister said, you know, in the Quran, it speaks that in order to get in the gates of heaven, you go through the mother's feet. So it's interesting, I've never heard that before. She said you go through the mother's feet, and they have not taken that, and the males in that society have actually absolutely violated every point of reference to the actual beauty of some of the practices of Islam was that the mother is the end all be all. So in order for you to get to the gates of heaven, you go through the mother's feet. If you go through the mother's feet, why do you have your foot on her neck? Is that what you took it as? To dominate and suppress her? So, you know, I'm just saying, do you understand the sickness, the systemic sickness in this matrix? So be careful, and be careful of listening to the rhetoric of some of these egregious pseudo males online, because they were going to take the narrative. It's just like one of the rappers giving the story of the sisterhood. There's going to be, if you looked at a video, I won't promote it, but it pissed me off. Many of you know what video it is. He speaks to this. It's them. He knows. He knows. Big up. Oh, thank you, sweet vibes. I'm working on myself spiritually, but I'm around a negative family and I don't have the means, and moment I leave completely. What do I do? Okay, listen to my love. You will always have what you need at the time you need it. I want you to say to yourself, I choose to be in a space that is healthiest for me and my highest and greatest good. I want you to say it to yourself. I accept relocation that is beneficial, that is easy, effortlessness, and abundant. Say these things to yourself. Say it daily. You will manifest a way. Something will come to you, and it'll be like a friend saying, hey, I have a place, you know, I need to share the rent. You only have to pay like $125 if you stay with me, or you'll get an offer to go to another country and do some teaching in English, or you'll have some job that all of a sudden magically you see and you apply for, and it gives you the extra means to leave. Abundance comes easily and effortlessly, but I need you to state what you have and be in appreciation of what you have. Then the universe will say, okay, she feels good and she feels abundant. Let's give her more abundance. Say, I like my sacred space. I like the way that my room makes me feel special. Then you'll expound upon that. Always acknowledge that you will always have what you need at the time you need it. If you are in a level of toxicity, learn the lesson from the toxicity. See what it's trying to teach you. Then when you graduate from that level of experience, then you will be able to be propelled in a more comfortable, cohesive position. I know it'll work. Okay, you'll be fine, my love. It always works. It always does. We did test, some of you who did Kiki sessions with me, if you were young enough, I did the test with you. If you were a little more seasoned, you had children, I wouldn't do it with you. But I wanted you to trust in yourself. So I would always get you to the point where you utilize everything you had to the penny, and watch how abundance comes to service you when you're just at that pinnacle point where all of a sudden, like, your rent is due, you spent everything on healthy things like, you know, bladder rack, you know, herbs, and you spent everything almost to your account to the dollar. and to the point where you even spent over what you needed for rent, and then watch how magically, poof, something just comes in. Tax return mistake. Oh, we made a mistake. On the same day your rent is due, tax return shows up in your account. All of a sudden, oh, we owe you money. Here we go. Oh, we have extra money in the account. Where did that come from? It always happens, but you have to acknowledge that that is. Once you do, you surpass the matrix, poverty traps. Abundance always comes easily and effortlessly to you and through you. Accept it, know it, own it. It is. Okay? I love you, C-Star. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be writing me next time, telling me how amazing your space is, how perfectly you're aligned, how you're really happy that you accepted that. And I accept that that will happen. Okay? Oh my God. Wait, if I took a picture of this right now, family, you would not believe me. You would not believe what just happened when I said that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so something was waiting to cash. You won't believe. This is one in the universe. Let me tell you, because I want to share it with you so you know. I should have taken a picture of it. On my phone, it said money is cleared. There was like a big amount of money that wasn't cleared. It was like for something a while ago. At the same time I said that to you, I stopped. Money's cleared in your account. Just said it right now and there. Do you understand, family? That's the universe talking to us. Oh, that was so beautiful. This is why I love us having this. I need to take a picture of that. Well, I can't because my account is on it. I swear to you, you know I'm honest. That just happened. That's to the C-Star. I think that was for you. I needed to see it, acknowledge it, and tell you. That just happened. That's powerful. That's manifestation, family. It's always there. You know it. We need to acknowledge. And I want you to start to hold your sister's hands. We need to start to be more, I think we're being in camaraderie now, but as the sisters on boots on ground, we're going to experience a whirlwind of changes. And physically. Some of your menses will change. That's what I was meant to talk to you about. I don't know. Wait. Oh, I could talk about this. Little people won't mind. Some of your menses will change to our C-Stars on here. I should not hold this. Okay, family. I get in this habit. Hold on. I'm not supposed to do I'm going to show you something too while I'm talking about this. Hold on. I got to take this out because it's not healthy for me to have it on here. Hold on. Okay. Remember, for those who experience fibroids, we've talked about a level of fibroids being part of certain lineage trying to replicate itself. Some women, it's not all fibroids, some women are starting to go through the process of returning back to themselves, and it may show up as fibroids. Fibroids is the body's way, because remember, sperm comes from we used to replicate ourselves from the bone marrow, which, big up to, what's his name? I really appreciate its intel. He's on point. Oh, you know who it is. Oh, he just made a video. Oh, RFG, and Sis as well. RFG, big up to RFG. You know this young man, remember, his intel is on point, okay? Like I said, if RFG and me ever sat down and talked, we probably wouldn't get along because it's different personalities. RFG is a different energy. We'd probably be adverse to it. I'm very knowledgeable about who I am, and I'm aware of other people. But I have to say, RFG's intel is 1,000% on point. I loved how he went into parthenogenesis. I've been talking about it. Finally, I love when males actually are okay to discuss this because sometimes they get so sensitive. His video was on point the other day. Big up to RFG. I have to say that. If you don't know who he is, you should check him out. Sperm, we used to replicate ourselves through the process of parthenogenesis. That's why there was only females. We only replicate. When you replicate yourself, cloning is just them mimicking us. Cloning is them bootlegging what we used to do naturally, family. See, this is what you have to understand. These diabolical ones bootleg everything. We used to telepathically talk to one another. We didn't need a telephone, so they create cell phones to mimic what we did innately. We used to innately replicate ourselves through the process of parthenogenesis. Part of cis and also fibroids is our way of trying to spark that again. So sperm used to be in the bone marrow. Many of us were from hotter regions. The hotter region, and this is where RFG was on point. Nobody talks about this, but I have the books. So it's amazing. He actually studied well. we had to get a certain amount of sun in order to replicate ourselves. Once we did, it released the sperm in our bone marrow, and we fertilized ourselves and we replicated ourselves. That's why it was only us on this planet. And we didn't just replicate ourselves with identical twins, we replicated with whatever genes were in our sperm that we had. So it could be a multitude of genes of DNA. We had a multitude of genes in our DNA that inside of our egg and also in the sperm that we released from our bone marrow. Okay, so that being said, your menses is going to change. It is changing. Many of you already have a different menses cycle, okay? And also, oh, for those who asked me, I forgot, I did come in the house for something. Now, you know Philip is about this, like I've been a prepper forever. You know what this is, okay? So this is, I suggest everyone has this because as I create the sanctuary, I have to make sure the sanctuary has 0 radiation and 0 electromagnetic influxes. So as you know, I've had this, and someone asked me to show it online, so I'm showing you now. This is my radiation and my magnetic field tester. So I know some of you are like, oh, Flurburn, you've gone so far. I use this. So what you'll see now is I have 0 as far as the radiation on my phone. That's how much I protected my phone. But if I go behind me on this wall, do you see that? Okay. Why it goes up like that is because there's radiation in the walls. There's a high amount of radiation, even for, I'll do the plug. Oh, let me show you the plug. So it's doing this now. Let me show you why I took the plug out of my phone. Okay, so see this? This is my plug. It's really disgusting, but this is let me show you. Hold on, because I want to show you. This is the plug, okay? So remember, it's at 0 now, right? Look what happens when I put it next to the plug. This is the plug. That's why you don't have your plug. It's got a warning. Look how high it went. This is the plug. So when you plug your phone in next to you, I wanted to put that there. When you plug your phone next to you, C-stars, especially pregos, my pregnancy stars, you're putting that much radiation. I blocked everything on my phone, so as you see, my phone is 0. I don't get radiation on my phones because I put diodes on my phone and blue blocking screens. But every time you plug in your phone, and your laptops have a lot of radiation, make sure, yeah, this tests EMF. Make sure you, oh, you bought your EMF clothing last week, Universal, I love it. See, our nieces are on point. You can get this online. I would go to Wish, because Wish, you get it cheaper, it might take longer. Go to Wish and get this. You should test all your walls. No, this was only $49 or $50. I think $49, or it might be less. I got this on wish.com. Okay, so I would suggest you get this in your house. I had to test the perimeters of the house also with the Nistas. So what you'll find is that on all your walls where there's electronics, there's a lot of radiation coming out of the walls. I have to move my Nista's bed on the other side because there was that much radiation coming out of her walls. Okay, so make sure that you're getting this and testing your environment just to see where the radiation is coming from. I already blocked my Wi-Fi, so my Wi-Fi is not emitting any more radiation towards us, and I have 0 electronics in my bedroom. My bedroom is actually neutral. I have 0 of radiation in my bedroom. So make sure you get this, family. Somebody had asked me to show you, so this is it. Okay, it's a fairly easy device. It's fairly easy to read. Like I said, if you test this, I showed you already what it does with the outlet. As soon as I put the outlet, hold on. This is what happens when it's next to the outlet. Look how high that is. Look at that. This is the outlet. Look when it's gone. It's gone. Okay, what brand is this? This is, oh, my eyesight is something Moon. I'll put the picture of it on, I'll put it on my IG. For those, I'll put it on IG. Remember the gentleman sent me the organites from England, from UK, that came with the crystals? Remember I showed you the organites, the pyramid organites he made specially for me? I put them over by the Wi-Fi machine, and also I put a magnet sheet underneath my Wi-Fi machine, and also I put a shield. So, but what I will say, family, also be careful. Hey, Bulgaria's in the house. Peace, family. Be careful with the smart machines outside of your house. I actually went to my driveway and the radiation on the driveway, so I won't let my little ones sit on the driveway anymore. The radiation is crazy outside of the house. Like they're literally, because they have all the stuff underneath the concrete, there's a lot of radiation. So if you have little ones who like to ride their bikes up and down the driveway, I don't suggest, especially it depends on how far close it is to the smart machines or whatever they have. I don't have a smart meter on my house. I refuse to put a smart meter on my house, but be careful with the little ones on the driveway. There's a lot of radiation there. Okay, so someone had asked me to do this. Just make sure. I'm well, love. How are you? Okay, so just, you know, make sure you get one of these. Y fields, yeah, I have blocking, yeah, oh yes, the EMF, you already know, it's the EMF paint, but there's something else I told you to get to. But again, the ones on, you already know what I said. I don't want to say it here because I always get in trouble. Okay, hold on, let me turn this off. You can't, Kay, go to the blue blocking screen. The blue blocking screen you can get on Amazon. Yes, you can get it on Amazon, please. Oh, yes, in New York City. Pavel's in New York, yes. Oh, my God, I didn't even think about that, Pavel. Thank you, Rohan. That's Rohan. Pavel, you're right. So people walking on New York City are being ultimately radiated. You need, Pavel, get one of these and test the, I'm gonna have him be like my street guy. Pavel, get one of these and test the roads, because we need to find out if people are being radiated. I have a feeling they are. Because if I'm getting it on my driveway and I'm like in a house, I'm in a private house, there isn't anything around here, I want to know if you're getting this. Because, you know, when I went back to New York City, a lot of people look dead. Like they, excuse my language, they look like they've lost life. A lot of people's skin is gray. When I go to New York City, a lot of people's skin have turned gray. I remember being in New York, we thrived. You see all these beautiful, luminous, everybody has rosy cheeks and they look healthy. When I went to New York, last time, everybody's skin was gray. It's because they probably putting stuff underneath the freaking concrete. Bastards. Nasty. Can you guys do a field test? I'll have you guys, but listen, I'm sorry if I'm a mad scientist. I hope you are okay with this. I know it's hard for Florbo and just, I'm about this life. I always want to get the information so we can give it out. Yeah, you wear the, yeah, you're gonna have to wear the organite. That's good though, to also get the organite the foot thing. Somebody sent me a while ago. Pavel, look on Amazon. I don't know if it's on Amazon. This guy was actually making so that you wouldn't get radiation from your ground up. He was actually making like organite pads for the foot, like foot pads. I gotta look and see. I get so much, family. It was in California. Was it in California? Check to see who sells that again. He was the one. I forgot who it was. I hate when I get information. He made the foot pads to block the EMFs from the ground. He made it, he was from the hood too. He made it because in the hood, they put a lot of low elf waves. So he did it and he said he felt better. He used to get joint pains all the time. And he said, thanks Pavel, he put he made it. That's what I'm saying. He sold it somewhere. I don't remember. But he made it himself, a homeboy. Big up to our homeboy. He was from Newark, New Jersey. Big up for him, he's from New Jersey. He made it and it stopped. Okay. You're moving to Maryland this week. You're going to research the city. Please do research, guys, and just put it below the video so we know which places have a lot of radiation. That way you can kind of block it. Because if you're walking every day on radiation, you may just want to change your route. You may want to change your route of walking and get one of these. You look like Fleuron with like goggles. I walk around in goggles. They're used to me around here. I walk around with goggles and EMF machines. I look like a mad scientist. It is what it is. People know I'm a geek. I'm a geek from back in the days. I just do that. So I want to know what's going on the roads. So I test everything. Sometimes they think I'm a little weird, but they're so used to me. That's why I like living somewhere for long periods of time, because they're kind of weird at my geeky habits and they know what I'm doing. I don't hide it. I'll say I'm testing. My girls sometimes will be like, Mommy, don't wear the goggles. Mommy, don't wear the goggles. And I listen to them. I know that there's a time and place for everything, and I want them to, you know, be seen as having, you know, a mommy that's okay. I do that every once in a while. All right, family. So again, yeah, the struggle of geekhood is real. So back to what we were saying, I'm going to finish off with this video. We've been on for a while. Protect your energetic field. Be mindful and make choices that will propel you into higher fields of consciousness and awareness and shielding. Do know over the next 9 days, you'll be solidifying your final stages of your timeline close. So Saturn is coming back home. Santa Claus is coming home on the 18th. Pay your karmic debts. Make right where there's wrongs. Solidify healthy relationships and love yourself. The ultimate number one thing is show love to yourself. Love yourself. That's it. Hug yourself. Tell yourself how amazing you are. Eat the highest and greatest fruits. Like right now, I'm on my cherry run. I'm about to go find some cherries of mass love. I gotta go find some cherries. I've been craving cherries again. I wanna get some cherries, so I'm gonna go find some cherries. So Florbone, I want cherries today, and I'm gonna do a high fruit water. Not a fast, I'll say it's a fast, because I'm not gonna do anything. I actually feel for a smoothie, to be honest, but I wanna get cherries. So I might get a smoothie and get cherries for later. I'm gonna do my green, my green smoothie is a little bit of kale, a ginger, pineapple, mango, and a little bit of lemon water. Woo! That's gonna be my smoothie today. I'm gonna go do a smoothie. I'm gonna go do a green smoothie and go get some high fruit. So I just eat grapes. Make sure you're eating grapes with seeds, Brittany. Make sure it's seeds. Seedless is seedless. Don't engage in fruits of mass destruction. Make sure that watermelon has seeds, okay? Anything that's seedless will create seedlessness within you. Mind, body, and spirit. All right, my loves? So, yeah, mangoes. Ooh, I love mangoes. All right, family, so I'm gone. I went on rants today. I did stay on topic for the majority of the video. I apologize for those who stay in the video and like, oh my God, what am I walking into? You already know I go into my conversations on whatever comes up. So your menstruation is going to change. Now, it may extend or it might shorten because I know that we aren't supposed to menstruate. The bleeding every month, they're trying to take away our eggs. We're supposed to keep all our eggs. You use your eggs as you get fertilized. We're supposed to have life. Actually, you have life. You have thousands of eggs in you. That's why the menopause thing, they insert that program in you by doing mammograms, giving vaccinations, telling you you're going to stop your menses. You're supposed to, first of all, we weren't supposed to get menses. The original women didn't get menses. We kept all our eggs. The only time our eggs were dispersed is if we were fertilizing them and the egg did not stay, okay? But for the fact that we do shed our egg every month, you have eggs until you die. You have eggs until you die. Most women have eggs until they die, okay? Anytime we have stopped shedding our eggs or we don't have any more eggs, it's because something has changed us biomolecularly, our structure of how we're created, okay? You should have a lifetime of eggs. So your menses should either be shorter or longer. Yeah, Dr. Double Blair taught about menstrual we're not supposed to have, exactly. The original women didn't. They didn't have menses. When they towed the artificial moon in the sky, that's an artificial satellite. When they towed the moon controls women. That's why it's linked to the women. That's where you always hear the moon is the woman, because it controls the woman, okay? They bombed the moon. There are beings that were on there. So I don't know how much control the moon has on us anymore, but the moon is an artificial satellite. It isn't real. And it is meant to control the ebb and flow of on the planet, including the females, okay? So that's why most women will go into labor during a full moon, okay? It's that gravitational pull. It was towed here. The moon isn't real, okay? We came from a binary system. We had a lot of suns, okay? And when the sun didn't really set, when it got, they kind of just sat in the sky. And that's one thing I like about RFG. He went into the concept of what happened when women were, I discussed this before, why certain women kind of bulk and other women don't. The women that bulk, I personally think come from more so the lineage of the original women here. The women who bulk when they eat, like I said, we weren't eating. We used to feed from the sun like plants, and our blood was more like chlorophyll. So I personally think when they changed us, that's why I'm saying some women don't require to eat to sustain themselves, but they do need sun. You can't not eat and not have sun, okay? So when you sit in the sun, remember, many of your family know, if you're from New York or places where you have different seasons, summertime, you notice you're not as hungry in the summertime. Why is it? Because it's hot? No. Even in the Caribbean, they don't eat as much. Why? Because you're being fed from the sun. And then you go through the process of photosynthesis where you create your own nutrition and then you process it and then you're good. So, that's why you see women from places that are more tropical, they tend to bulk. We're not supposed to eat all this wheat. I'm staying away from wheat. Wheat is the devil. Wheat, beef, chicken, all that craziness. We didn't eat all that. We had fruit, if anything, but we didn't eat. Check out the movie Green Frontier. They didn't eat. They didn't require it. Once you get sunlight, healthy air, that's the whole concept of breatharianism, But not all beings are able to be breatharians. I always say if you bulk, women who bulk, you were probably one of the original beings. You're still holding the lineage of your original beings. Probably you come from more tropical areas too, okay? We're not supposed to eat like that one. Fleur doesn't eat. I'm healthy. You won't see me super, super thin ever. I could not eat every day. I didn't eat for 30 days. I was still similar size. I dropped, I shed. If I didn't eat for another 30 days, you saw me thin out, but I'm thick. I'm unnaturally thick because I eat things like mass destruction wheat. I'm staying away from wheat. Wheat is the devil. Genetically homogenized wheat is the reason why we get sick. These bastards put everything in the food. They're just dirty dogs. When I was in Brazil, they don't even eat wheat like that. They do a lot more, gluten-free stuff. So when they do the cakes and breads and stuff, and we don't get tired when we eat in Brazil. That's one thing I noticed in Brazil. I could have a whole meal, I had energy. Crazy. I eat here, I get tired. That's not food, that's not fuel. Fuel is supposed to fuel you. When would you ever put gas in a car and it makes your car drive slower? It doesn't even make sense. So when I was in Brazil, I would eat meals and I shed a lot of weight too. And then they do cassava flour and what is it? Tapioca flour, tapioca. They don't do wheats like we do. And I eat cakes and stuff. The cakes were off the chain. Oh, the cakes were tapioca cake. I do miss the breakfast there. They don't eat like we do. They eat later too. They eat a little later, because the restaurant's open like 6 o'clock. Like 6 o'clock, they ate, and then we wouldn't get tired. So after I would eat a meal, I would feel invigorated, and I would feel more energetic. So it was interesting. As soon as I came back to the States, I didn't eat wheat for a while, and then I started to have occasional bagel and so on. It bothers me. Spelt is good. Be careful with spelt, though, with males, because spelt has more estrogen. Males shouldn't really mess with spelt that much. Be careful with spelt. Spelt is okay for a female that's probably a certain age or a little more seasoned, because she's lessening her estrogen. So women who are like 35 and up, it's okay for you to indulge in spelt pancakes. I do that. Younger ones, be careful having too much estrogen. So just be careful with spelt. Spelt is really good for you because it's an heirloom, but don't, like I say, family, eat balanced. Eat very balanced, that's all. There's also going to be a message on 9/11 of our dietary. So there'll be a message for that. Like I said, I've gotten sick from eating. Even coffee bothers me here. Like I would drink coffee in Brazil, it didn't bother me. Here, the coffee bothers me. A lot of things have changed. If you're eating chicken of mass destruction, the chickens that you're getting in the farms, and most of the processed chickens are pink-eyed, red-eyed, white-feathered chickens. I don't know that's a homogenized chicken. So you're eating genetic, and then also you have to take in consideration, for those who still eat eggs, if you eat eggs, then when you go to the store, you have to buy uh, eggs of chicken that don't eat corn or don't eat soy. Because even if you're eating healthy organic chicken eggs, if you eat chicken eggs that the chickens eat soy and corn, what's the point of you not eating soy and corn, but the chicken you consume eats soy and corn? Do you know what I mean? So even though you think that you're eating certain things, if you eat the animal that consumes soy and other non-natural things, then you're basically eating what they eat. Listen, we've been living on the devil's playground. These bastards have taken over and shape-shifted the whole environment. Make your own food, yeah. Like when I was, especially when the little ones were little, I made more things. Like when they were little, because I didn't leave the house as much, I was always making everything. I was just making everything as a mom, because I made a lot of their own things. I nursed a lot, so I always made everything. I wouldn't go to Brazil right now until the president is taken out of the country, as far as voted out. You can go, because I just came from there. Just be careful. There's a destabilization going on. Remember, we got boots on ground. There's a destabilization going on. Just wait for a moment. Just wait a little bit to go to Brazil until there's a little bit more security. The president is anti-indigenous, anti-brown. He lives in a country of all brown. He's anti-brown, anti-religious, and anti-gay. He's anti-everything. So he lives in a country with mostly brown people. The majority of the country is brown, but he hates them. That's the country that is. So just be careful going over there. If you go into Brazil, I wouldn't go to the south. The south is more dangerous, okay? That's not true? You're a Brazilian? Thiago, what's your take? Okay, Thiago. So Thiago, you don't think that's true? Okay. Thiago, oh, you're from the south? Oh, okay. So Thiago, do you think the south is safer than the north? Thiago's on boots on ground. Thiago, do you think, okay, south is not dangerous? Okay, so that's untrue. Okay. Okay, so it's 100%. Okay, so Thiago, what places in the south are safest? Because I know in the north, where I was safer than most places, and Bahia, but I didn't go into Salvador. Salvador is a little unsafe. Let's see. I love getting, this is what's beautiful about getting, because my girlfriend now, Paula, who I was traveling with in Brazil, all 3 states are much more safe. Oh, they are? South is not dangerous. Good to know. In the south. What cities? Because Rio's hard to exist in. São Paulo is a little more balanced. My girlfriend there is in the south now. She just moved because we went from the south, we went to the north, and then she's in the south now. So she said she's a Brazilian, so we were there for the whole month together, and now she went back to go to the south. So, Thiago actually knows, which is nice. Okay, that's also nice. I'm from Caritba. Great place. Thank you, Thiago. I love it. So look, Thiago Bora Bora is hyped. Okay. Thiago actually gave beautiful intel. Please, if you're visiting Brazil, always listen to Brazilians who are living there on site. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I take that back. I take that back, which I said. So I'm sorry for making a false statement based on on something that I generalized. Thank you, Thiago. Love you. Love it. Big up to our Brazilians. Obrigada. You heard the safe is safer. See, that's interesting because Paula says different. That's the sea star I was spending time with. Okay, so she said a little different. And she's a Brazilian, but remember, the perspective comes on the person. So remember, we were there in the north together. The north was amazing. I had a great time, beautiful food. Ugh. It was amazing. The culture was beautiful. It's just, again, just be careful traveling if you aren't sure of where you're going. Because just like when any place you travel, you always have to be on guard and protect yourself. Obesity can increase risk. High fatty foods. Okay, so KM is giving us some information here. Obesity can increase. Avoid high-fat foods, including full-fat dairy, no large amounts of food. Avoid spinach. Yes, spinach, rhubarb, soy, sodas, hormone meats. Take vitamin C, flaxseed, oils, fruits, and vegetables. Thank you, KM. KM just gave some great advice. I agree with you. I was craving seaweeds for a time. I'm not craving seaweed anymore. Maybe I got what I needed. I love seaweed. Seaweed was great. I used to have seaweed. I loved, remember, spinach has a lot of those oxalates on it. Be careful, oxalates are on spinach, especially baby spinach. That oxalates, you don't want to consume too much oxalates. So be careful with that, all right? The oxalates are those little crystals, and that goes into your stomach and messes with your endocrine system. They don't tell you. That's why in Cariba's Green Capital, source The Guardian. Oh, okay. Yeah, so just be careful with that. Also kale. Well, I knew when I grew kale. Also kale, you got to be careful. You can't eat too much of it. That's why I say, family, you got to be very balanced. You can't consume too much of anything. You shouldn't be doing kale every day. You shouldn't be doing Swiss chard. I love Swiss chard. It's my favorite. Swiss chard is, if you want to know what green I enjoy, I love Swiss chard. That's rainbow Swiss chard is my favorite. Okay, you like collards, just be careful, there's oxalates on it. Too many oxalates. See, the problem is when you go into a vegan lifestyle and you start consuming, see, in my culture, we don't eat a lot of greens like that. We eat a lot of fruit, some greens, but we eat fish, more fish in the islands. They do fish. So, oh God, see. One of my stalkers is texting me. Okay, fruits, too much sugar. That isn't true. It depends on the fruits. You eat bitter fruits. Breadfruit is not a lot of sugar, has a lot of magnesium and potassium. You have things like guineps, canipas. You have things like pineapple or sometimes mangoes. It depends on where you get them from. Remember, on the islands we have more bitter fruits than we have sweet fruits. Anytime fruits are that sweet, it's because they've been homogenized. Fruits are not supposed to be really sweet. They're supposed to be bittersweet. That's what kills parasites. When you eat too much of these sweet fruits, like these apples that are homogenized, it's not supposed to be sweet like that. There's certain fruit that are sweet, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the sweets from the islands tend to be bittered or just more water in them, okay? So eating too much fruit, like tamarind's very bitter. Tamarind is really good. Just be careful. If you're eating fruits that are just really sweet, like mangoes, my mangoes are different tasting than the ones in Central America. I have a tendency to love Adolfo mangoes, okay? I love Adolfo mangoes. Many people like the Central American ones, which are red and green. I don't like those. I can't tolerate it. It hurts my stomach. So what I do is I have the Adolfo, which is more of a bitter mango, and it's tastier to me, okay? And it's not as big. Oh, bananas. Fiji girls in Costa Rica. Yeah, she likes the bananas in Costa Rica. Oh, those are sweet, but they're smaller and they're natural. Do they have the black seeds, Fiji girl? Do they have the black seeds, Karen? Because if they have the black seeds, those are the ones you're supposed to eat. Okay? Because if you eat bananas, I'm allergic to bananas. Go figure. I'm allergic to coconut and bananas, and I'm a Caribbean woman who's indigenous from the region, from the Caribbean and South America. Can you imagine? So it's amazing because I went to Brazil and they were laughing at me. Some of the women were laughing. They were like, how could you be she said in Portuguese, how could you be a black woman and be allergic to coconuts? She was like, what's wrong with you? She doesn't realize that it's not the coconuts. I'm allergic to, I built up an allergy to coconuts that are not indigenous anymore. It's what they do to the coconuts. I used to be able to consume coconuts. It didn't bother me as a young person, or bananas. I'm allergic to bananas now because the bananas are homogenized. They don't have seeds in them anymore. So I can't mess with any more coconuts. I can't mess with coconuts and not even coconut oil. I can't mess with coconuts anymore, and I can't mess with bananas. Go figure that. And I am indigenous from that tells you something's wrong. Whenever you have an indigenous woman who's from a region natively, I'm mixed with some other beings, some African and European, but I'm mostly mixed. My mix is mostly indigenous from the Caribbean and South America. I'm allergic to coconuts and bananas. It's the type of coconuts. There's different types of coconuts too, and there's different types of bananas. Okay, so just watch what you eat. Safflower is toxic to O positives. People don't know that. So if you're O positive or a positive roots, I'm not sure how you B positives do. I know B positives has sensitivity to it, but they have safflower in a lot of your foods. They're adding that oil. Canola is a genetically homogenized oil. It isn't even natural, but safflower is something that many people are hypersensitive to, and you don't even know. It causes gut issues. Safflower, it's Safflower. Check your foods. You will find that there's a lot of safflower in your foods. You're allergic to coconut, so I can't do safflower, coconut oil, anything like that. That's why I make a lot of my own things. So be careful with the safflower, especially for, what O negatives might have a sensitivity to, I don't know, but I've noticed that the O positives are having sensitivity to safflower. Check your foods. A lot of your breads have safflower. A lot of your cookies have safflower in it. They're added it. Most of you didn't even know they added a new oil. It used to be just, basically the homogenized canola, or they would do palm oil. Palm oil is not too good for you. Or they would do, safflower is bad for the heart. Oh, Lord, Joy. Thank you for that. Listen, I'm allergic to it. I didn't even know that. So listen to that, family. Safflower is bad for the heart. See, we have to be careful. If you're not making your own things, I vet out things, but for the most part, you can never be sure of anything. You cannot. So I suggest that you make your own things as much as you can. A lot of people are busy. So what you do is you vet out things and you stick to only those companies that have the ingredients. Sunflower oil is really good. I love flax oil, hemp oil. Yeah. I have a little one that's allergic to olive oil. Yeah, you got to be mindful. Everything has additives, and just remember, you got to be careful because they add things in there and they don't put it, especially if it's a small amount. And they also know there's certain people who are mixed with certain ET groups. I've made a whole video on that. Some of you are mixed with certain groups of ETs that they don't like, that the majority of ETs that are in control don't like. So they'll put things in the populace that affects certain types of people more than others. So that's why I say you can never vet anything out totally. Make it yourself. If you grow it yourself and make it yourself, that's how you know. That's all. That's the only way you could. That's all. For certainty, if you know that green comes from your garden, if that fruit comes from a tree, if that cow, because the cow is in your pasture, that's the thing about it. Black seed oil is good. It just dries out your skin sometimes, but it's good for healing. It's actually good for your tummy sometimes. I'll put it in certain porridges and stuff for little people in the Caribbean and Jamaica especially. They'll put black seed oil. It's called neem oil. It's sometimes called neem oil. So, be mindful of that. You live in Scotland. Your son is allergic to fruit and vegetables and seafood and dairy. Hey, Melanie. Yeah, you know what it is? I think the star seeds are coming back allergic to a lot of different things for point. Now, if you want to get a book, our sea star, who is on Gail, who you heard me on the show. She's been on the show a couple times in Aquarius Rising. She just wrote a children's book. It's called Rainbow Foods Rock. Go purchase it. Go to Amazon and purchase her book. That's one of our own. That's our sea star. She created Share Children Had Allergies. She said, I'm not going to be about it. I'm going to make something that makes a book. And then I'm going to create these recipes. She has amazing recipes. Do support her. She created a book. It's amazing. Rainbow Foods Rocks. Rainbow Food Rocks. You can buy it on Amazon. I should actually add her site to here. Is Gail on here? I don't think Gail's on here. I got to contact Gail. I'm going to get her thing. Many of you mommies, for the ones who are just preggo now or pregnant or have little people, this is the best food of reference. She has so many different options. They're great recipes. I'm going to have her book. I'll probably get a couple of copies, and I'm going to bring them to the conference so you guys can actually get it. She's an amazing woman. I've while. You know, I always love when mommies create something for mommies. This is a book that's phenomenal. So, you know, if you get a chance, cop her book. We say cop in New York. Cop her book. Purchase her book. You won't regret it. And I think this level of will be helpful. Fasting, intermittent fasting is helping. Don't eat all the time. Flurburn has to learn not to eat late. Why you'll see me bulk up is because I like to eat late. That's my biggest issue as a mommy, because I used to nurse all the time. My children are bigger now, but I used to love to eat late at night. I did. I used to like to eat, watch Netflix and eat. That isn't healthy. After 7 o'clock, we're not supposed to be eating. You're supposed to be letting your body process everything. That's where I have to stop. Like today is my first day. I'm going to be doing, I will halt eating after 7 o'clock. So I won't have anything. If I want anything, maybe I'll do a cup of turmeric tea, or I'll do a moringa tea or something like that, something warm to just settle me. But I won't be eating food after 7 anymore because it's not healthy. Yeah, and I want to eat. Everything is poisoned. You cannot eat everything. What's the point of explaining you cannot eat this or that? Well, you know, Flurburn, you got me hooked on cherries. Oh my God, I know we're at the end of the season. I know. I'm going on a cherry hunt right after we get off. After this live, family, I'm going on a cherry hunt, and I'll find me some cherries, and I'm going to eat them all up. I'm going to go on my cherry hunt. I'm going on a cherry hunt, and I'm going to go get my, hey, brown brujita. Yeah, you grew up eating dinner at 9 p.m., working on that. Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, it's a struggle because our society kind of promotes eating whenever, but we have to do better. Like I'm just, like I said, today I decided to go back to staying away from foods after 7, and I won't be doing any grains. I can't do the grains anymore. They're bothering my stomach. You feel fine after 3 months of no coffee? That's what I'm talking about, Jane. That's good. It's a stimulant. We shouldn't be drinking coffee like that anyway. That's why I say I have to work on myself. Flurburn won't come to you telling you I'm a perfected work, because I have a lot of things I have to work on. And yeah, I make sure, like today, I haven't eaten anything yet. I did have coffee. That isn't good. They know better. Yeah, I won't be having, let's see, I will be having, you're on your second cup of coffee? Yeah, coffee, like I said, I didn't drink coffee until my 30s, when I had my children. Yeah, so I will be omitting coffee for a while. It helps with your asthma. That's what I'm talking about, April. I'd like to find excuses for my coffee too. Yeah, I like but many of you know I do the tecchino. Whenever I'm fasting, you'll see me do tecchino. Tecchino is good. Tecchino is an alternative to coffee. It's like chicory. It tastes just like coffee. So whenever I'm fasting off of coffee or I'm not doing coffee, I do tecchino, or I do, what is it called? Cafe nut or something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, but I have to, Flurburn isn't doing the grains anymore. I can't do it. I got burning. Like listen to this. I had a bagel, like organic bagel with this wonderful, many of you, what is it called? You know, I love it too. It's my vegan cream cheese. You guys like it. It's the almond cream cheese. What is it called? Oh, baby on the brain. You know it's my favorite. Oh, so good. You know what the cream cheese I eat. Many of you know which one it is. Kai Hill. Thank you, Johan. Johan knows. Thank you, Kai Hill. Oh, with the chives. I do Kai Hill with the chives. Oh, family. Oh, I love this Kai Hill with chives. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So I do the Kai Hill with chives. Listen, my skin was burning for like an hour. It's the darn wheat. It's the wheat. It's the darn wheat. The wheat is toxic. I did Kite Hill. I love the Kite Hill. I could do it like, I like to do Kite Hill. Sometimes I'll do it with like those wheat-free crackers and stuff. I love that because I like the chewy. I love that. But my gosh, it freaking burned my skin. The wheat burned my skin. I literally have burning skin from eating wheat. So durum wheat, organic. It doesn't matter. So we have to just stop, we just gonna have to change up our way of doing. And I'm looking forward to returning to some Brazilian ways of eating, because I loved Brazil. Like I said, anytime I ate in Brazil, I had more energy than anywhere else. We would eat a full meal, and you didn't eat a lot. I didn't eat a lot in Brazil, but I ate. I love food. Food in Brazil, big up to our Brazilians on here. Food in Brazil is like eating from God. The food is amazing. That's one thing. From the airport, from me getting on the flight, big up to, I took Bowl Airlines. Let me tell you, if you want to know how a country's food is, eat the airline food. They fed us so well on that flight, and I knew Brazil's food was going to be off the chain because the food on the flight was it was delicious. And when I got to the country, they cook well. Everywhere I went, the food was absolutely on point. It was amazing. Woo. And the vegetables were huge, like dinosaur avocados and greens. Oh my gosh. I loved it. Anyway, family, we talk about food. You know when Florbrun's hungry because I'm talking about food. I got to go get some cherries. I got to make sure I'm touching zero food of mass destruction. I've always managed to have Brasileira friends. Do you? Yeah, I love it. I know I'm hungry. See, it's all a mindset. I have to go get my smoothie before I start craving carbohydrates from bagels and stuff. That's the devil. And I won't be eating after 7 o'clock. I will not eat after 7 o'clock or more. Once I have a nice bum, but once my bum has movement that I feel after I walk, my mother said yesterday, she was like, your bum. She's like, your bum is moving. It's like, uh-oh. That's when you know I'm eating too much, is that when my bum, because I'm shapely. I'm a thickums all day. They're small, but she said my bum had an extra step to it. I was like, uh-oh. No more eating after 7 o'clock. That was so funny. She said I had an extra movement. I was like, oh, snap. Say no to wheat. That's eating late. That was eating late. I'm grateful my mother's still here on site because she let me know. My mother keeps it real. She was like, uh-oh, too much bounce to the ounce. I got a lot of ounces. You'll see a healthier, svelter Florbrun at the conference. When you guys come to the conference, I'll be sveltered down because if it's up to me, I'll be eating at night, watching Netflix. Anyway, yeah, wheat gives you rashes. It burned my skin, Giselle. It did. It burned my skin. The wheat actually literally burned my skin. So I got to say goodbye to wheat. I don't love you that much. And it makes you tired. You ever get itis? I don't know if the Lunars know that statement. Maybe I shouldn't say that publicly. Itis is considered something that brown people say they get after they eat and they get tired. It isn't healthy to be tired after you eat. It's worse. It's disgusting. To eat a meal and you have no energy. What's the point of eating? Like, you're basically drugging yourself. It's like a sedative. Yeah. I need to eat things. Matter of fact, I'm going to get some celery too. Oh, celery and hummus. I'm going to get some celery and hummus too. Thank you. Somebody said it on here. I just got it. Some chickpeas. I make my own hummus, but it's going to take me a while because I got to soak it. So I'm going to go get some hummus now. I'm going to get some hummus. And I'm feeling, I already know what lunch is. I'm getting hummus and I'm getting some celery. I love my hummus and celery. That's what I'm getting. Oh, I'm excited. And I'm going to have a smoothie. The food at the last conference was good. I did a Caribbean vegan meal for the conference. And the cake was all organic, vegan. Well, it wasn't vegan for the honey. She used honey because it was what made the cake. The cake was made into, like aliens in a cake. I was very, very specific. Now at this conference, there's going to be a buffet. Now, because we're in New Orleans, I will allot for this New Orleans, because many people I got a census, people want authentic New Orleans food. So what I will do is I will have a vegan version because I think it's healthier. You already know you're going to have lots of fresh salad and fruit and so on. But I'm going to have actually... croissants are the devil. I'm going to have beignets, the vegan version of the beignets, and also we will have authentic New Orleans food. So there will be that, and there will be choice for vegan choice as well. that was just suggested by people who are attending. So we will have a combination of both. But last year we were at the conference. I'm preparing a lot of stuff myself. So some of you guys will get some of the things I do. I do some. I can't do everything because, again, I have to be able to, I couldn't socialize even when I had people catering for me last year. So I'm doing some things myself, so you will have some access to the things that I prepare, really great things that are healthy. And then also I have a caterer coming in doing the rest of the conference. So the cutoff date for the conference, I'm trying to keep it family because I know y'all gonna push me to the edge. Cutoff date for the conference, at least for the buffet, will be the 15th because I have to have a number. I can't order and have food for people, and I don't know how many people are coming. It's like it's like a wedding. So if you want to do the masquerade party, I think you should be able to do that even to the last day. And to the regular conference price, because there's just a price for that. And then we have meet and greet that we're doing that week as well. So just for those who are doing the buffet at the conference, there's going to be a cutoff day because I have to know numbers. And it's better just to book. But last year I took people up to the last minute because they wanted to come, and I didn't feel like it was right to say no, so I let them come to the last minute. But this year I'm going to have to be a little more stringent, just so that it's I say 15th is the cutoff, yeah. But I would like it the 1st, October the 1st, but 15th is the cutoff. So just try to get everything done before then. Oh, I love it. You guys got food on my mind. Your husband loves celery. I love celery as a child. I love celery as a child. All the info for the conference, you just have to go to my email and contact me, and I'll give you the flyer for the conference. All right, family, we could talk for days. It's like talking to your friends. It's like y'all are all in my house. We're all chilling and talking. That's what's nice about YouTube. I talk mad smack about YouTube, but I really appreciate YouTube. It's almost like bittersweet. I do appreciate YouTube. YouTube has made a wonderful connection for all of us. And, there isn't a time that I ever feel like we shouldn't be grateful for this platform. Okay, so I am grateful for the platform and to be able to connect with my family this way. I do. So thank you. And also, okay, so I think that's it. All right, family, I'm gonna go. I gotta go, because if I get hungry like this, hungry, whenever you get hungry like this is when you make poor decisions. I have to go get my smoothie. Once I get my smoothie, my body will feel happy. Then I can go to the grocery store. If I go to the grocery store hungry, you ever go to the grocery store hungry? If I go to the grocery store hangry, I will buy things that are totally not on the list. I will forget what I came there for. I will start looking at everything like it's heaven. So right now I have to make sure, because I'm going to get the smoothie on the other side of town. So once I get it, I'll be okay. All right, family. So I love you. Have a masterful, make choices. Remember, you have 9 days before Saturn comes home. Remember, Saturn's still in retrograde, and that's when you solidify your timeline. Make choices that are for your highest and greatest good. Cut off those relationships that aren't beneficial to you in a healthy way, and vice versa for the other person. Make better decisions at putting you in a higher awareness, a higher perspective, so that you can see past all the rift and have a masterful portal day. Blissful 999, and we will reconvene on 9/11. I love you, family. Peace.